Hello. What's up tonight, everyone? Welcome. Fine Tuesday. No. Thursday to y'all. Good to see you. Too many spoilers. Don't even know what day it is anymore. I blame Wizards for me not knowing the day. How is everyone tonight? Leon, Stu, Warp, Gino, Lucas, Donald is a jester. Zelda Zach, good to see you. Toxic Official, Darvish, Childish Ruin. How's everyone doing today? And we're Dirty Tron players. Now. Actually, this deck is so weird. Like, sure, it does have Tron lands, but the deck is so weird, and it's so just out there that I could not resist trying it. I have no idea how you win a game with this deck. Like, seriously, this deck it's like Tron Prison. It's like Mono Red Prison, but colorless and with Tron lands. That's the best I can figure of this deck. I have really no idea what's going on with this pile, so we're gonna have to talk about this deck a little bit. But it's a modern night. Hopefully everyone is doing spectacularly. Also, of course, we got backups. We got the 4-color Recruiter deck that we played just a touch of before. Maybe we get a slightly larger touch tonight. But we're starting with Possessed Portal Prison Tron, which is one of the weird. So this deck. Oh, the story of this deck. Here's the story of this deck. I noticed like a few weeks ago, someone put a 5-0 with this deck, and I was like, oh, that's weird. I have no idea how this deck wins, but that's cool. Mystic Forge is a cool card. And then a few days later, another 5-0, the same exact person. I was like, twice they managed to 5-0 with this pile that I still don't even understand how the deck works. Like, it's weird. It's really weird. And then they put up a third 5-0, and I was like, all right, like, the same person. Apparently there's like one person in the world that is really, probably brewed this deck and is really good with this deck and keeps winning with this deck. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna actually like try to figure out what is going on with this deck. And eventually, after many minutes of looking at the deck list, it's all about the Possessed Portal, the one of in the sideboard. The best that I can figure is that is a whole card. The card that makes this entire deck work is we're trying to lock people out of the game with Possessed Portal. So it's kind of like against the odds, Tron. There's no Ugins. There's no 7-mana Karns. None of those typical Tron shenanigans. We are forging a much weirder path with Tron today. And I have no idea. If this deck's going to work. I'm probably going to punt with it a lot, but I'm excited to see if we can lock people out of the game. So I'm not familiar with Sir's MTG, but somehow they keep winning with this deck, which is pretty against the odds looking. Plus, Mystic Forge is sweet, and Chalice of the Void is really good in Modern right now, and I do like locking people out of the game, so maybe it's going to be amazing. Did we go with Tron after the MTGA issues? Oh, yes, losing to that bug on Arena put me fully in dark side mode. Now it's Evil Seth. We're playing Tron lands. Look out, world. No more Mr. Nice Guy. So hopefully everyone is doing amazing tonight. Let's know, reminders to talk about this deck. I got a feeling if we actually do what the deck wants to do, the games might take a minute, because I don't think this deck has the ability to win quickly, but no one expects the Possessed Portal is very correct. Replay YouTube, that's where you'd find all the old streams, including this one in the future. Normal YouTube, tons of sweet shorts. I told you there were some good shorts coming up, and having Brewer's Kitchen around to do editing is pretty spectacular. Like, Brewer's Kitchen editing is so good. Jonathan Snow, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super for you. Thank you. Tomorrow coming up on Much Brew, we're heading to Legacy for another really sweet Legacy deck. So if you are a Legacy fan, I would recommend check. It's a good one. It's definitely a sweet one. So otherwise, our sponsor tonight, as usual, is the ever awesome Card Kingdom, and maybe you need some magical cards. I don't know, maybe you want some cards from Adventures in the Forgotten Realms, or Planeswalker deck Chandras, or Wretched Confluences. It doesn't matter. They got them all, and you can get them over at cardkingdom.com. Even get a free MTG Goldfish sticker. Let them know you want one in your order notes, and they'll hook you up for free. A Card Kingdom for supporting the show. Otherwise, merch page, clean out Richard's Garage donations, always appreciated, never required. $2 or more gets your message read on stream. And with that out of the way, anyway, let's dirty Tron it up. So, what is this deck trying to do? And as I mentioned before, it took me seeing the deck list multiple times and really digging into it before I figured out what the deck was trying to do. Because if you look at the main deck of this deck, you're like, okay, what's going on in this main deck? We got Karn, sure, so I can get stuff from our sideboard. We got Mystic Forge, that's going to draw us a ton of cards. So what are we drawing into? What big thing are we doing with Mystic Forge? And it's like, okay, we're playing Ensnaring Bridge, and we're locking people with Sorcerous Spyglass, and we're locking them with Chalice of the Void, and we're Pithing Needle their stuff, and we're playing Welding Jars to protect our stuff, and Spell Sites to protect our stuff. None of that stuff wins us the game, though. Like, none of that stuff actually wins us the game. All of that's just kind of like spinning our wheels and like advancing our board. So it took me a while to figure out where the deck was actually headed. What the deck is trying to do, the best that I could figure, Purple Source Rex, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super chat for you. Thank you. Yeah, Richard, I actually don't know how big his garage. I've never seen the mythical Richard garage actually in person. So the best that I could figure, what this deck wants to do is it wants to play Mystic Forge, and it wants to use Mystic Forge to play a bunch of random cards that don't really do anything, but they can protect Mystic Forge and other artifacts. We want to stop creatures from beating us down with Ensnaring Bridge. We want to stop other stuff with like Pithing Needles and Sorcerous Spyglasses and Ratchet Bombs. Eventually, we want to find Karn. Karn, when I first saw it, it's like, oh, you Karn and you get a Kozilek. No, you can't get a Kozilek. It's not an artifact. So if you look at the stuff we can get out of our sideboard, none of it actually wins the game either. Welding Jar, more protection, Grafdigger's Cage for Graveyard, we can eat away at lands with Liquid Metal Coating, a million Torpor Orbs for some reason, Crucible of Worlds in case someone blows up our lands, Botto Cloister for card draw and discard, Witchbane Orb for protection. It all comes down to this one card, Possess Portal. So what we're trying to do, to the best of my knowledge, is essentially annoy our opponent like crazy and try to lock them out of really doing anything super exciting, get a bunch of random horrible permanents on the battlefield, and snag Possess Portal from our sideboard. Possess Portal says if a player would draw a card, they skip the draw instead. Well, we can still theoretically play cards off the top of our deck with Mystic Forge, and it says at the beginning of each end step, each player sacrifices a permanent unless they discard a card. So this is slowly going to eat away everyone's hands. It's slowly going to eat away everyone's battlefield. Thankfully with Mystic Forge, it doesn't really hurt us too much, and we have horrible things on the battlefield that we can sacrifice, so sooner or later our opponent is going to give up, essentially. They're going to say uncle. They're going to get to the point where they just have no permanence going, no chance of doing anything, and hopefully they give up. If they refuse to give up, we can Elixir of Immortality our stuff back into the graveyard. So we will not mill out. I think that's win condition number one. Or if we're feeling daring, we can animate artifacts with Karn and try to beat our opponent down. So this deck, I have no idea. This deck is ridiculous, but I'm actually super excited to try it. I have no idea if it's gonna I mean, I know it can work for someone, but will it work for us? I'm not sure, because this deck looks really hard to play. Hey, what's up? What's up, Vulture Scar? So will we even finish this league? Who knows? Who knows? I love Possess Portal. Possess Portal is such a weird card. Possess Portal's punt free. No way. This is the least likely stream to be a punt free stream. Why do you play an Arena? They don't have Possess Portal on Arena. If they had Possess Portal on Arena, we'd be over there. Actually, I do play an Arena. We play both. Basically, if we play Standard or Historic, we play it on Arena. And if I feel like playing Modern or Legacy or whatever, Pioneer, Pauper, then we play it on Moto because Arena doesn't have it. So it's a back and forth thing. Like this week, what did we play? We played Modern on Monday. We played Standard 2022 on Tuesday, and now we're back to Modern. We'll be doing a lot of Arena soon. Once we would have been playing Jumpstart tonight if they'd actually released it when they said, but once we get Jumpstart and then we get Innistrad and get new Standard, expect it to be a lot of Standard and Historic and less Modern for a bit once we get the new cards. Niachuk! It's cool trying Niachuk, I promise. We got Possess Portal. We won the die roll. Would you like to play first? I assume so. Well, Sand gets Tron. Sand gets Tron Plus. It doesn't do anything. And we have our one island that doesn't actually do anything. New Jumpstart was supposed to release tonight, but it's 2 weeks from tonight now. They pushed it back. Hey, what's up, Lucid? Ooh, crazy. We've been having thunderstorms here the last couple days with the weather being hot. You're crazy. You always said you don't like playing control decks on stream, but then you decide to pick up, when you decide to pick one up, it's Tron. I don't consider this control. I consider this prison. I consider this to be Tron prison. I don't, the hand doesn't do anything. I don't think any of our hands do anything. Island, it's a combo. We've been debating what's a combo and what's a synergy. I'm pretty confident that Spellsky Island is a combo. It saves 2 life. That's a whole shock's worth. And watching someone get locked is thumbs up. I mean, prison is it? Do you consider prison to be control? See, I think of control and prison to be 2 different things. Maybe I shouldn't. Maybe that's the wrong way to think of it. I think of control as typically like Drago, like countering your stuff to keep you from really advancing your game plan. I think of prison more as playing 1 or 2 cards that just keep you from doing things. Maybe there should not be a distinction there, but I think of them separately. If you want to blow your opponent's mind with prison, run Blood Moon Tron. But no one expects a Blood Moon Tron. Honestly, I've thought about it. I have thought about Blood Moon Troning. Oh my god. Alright, so they're living, ending. Just because it would be funny to like Tron and try to play a card and then Blood Moon so your opponent can't cast anything after you play something big. Stream mode achieved. Yeah, basically. Well, that's Expedition Map. Do we have Scavenger Grounds? We do not. Let's see. Power Plant Tower. Mine. Untap. Urza's Mine. Expedition Map. Crack Expedition Map. Get, I guess, Inventor's Fair. What can we Pithing Needle? All right, chat. Give me your vote. Is there anything relevant to Pithing Needle? I guess a Cycler. Are we supposed to Pithing Needle a Cycler? That's such a counterintuitive plan, but I assume so. This is, alright, so opponent is wise to our trick. Cycles a Riverwinder. Cycles a Ceradon. Do they even play? Okay, Waker. Alright. Waker of Waves. Boom. And I guess we'll play a Spellsky. So our opponent, they gotta have something to Living End away, right? Yo. I don't think I play Astral Drift. Hey, what's up, Winter Ballad? How are you? Good to see ya. About it. Land. Perhaps setting up for some cycling. More Inventors Fairs. Well, play Spellsky. Inventors Fair. Crack it. Ooh. Oh. Okay. We're not dead yet. So if we get Graveyard Hate, I assume they just beat us anyway. So my concern is, like, Chalice would be great, but I feel like if we get Chalice, they're just going to cascade with it on the stack. The other option, hey, what's up, Strawberry Edges? I mean, Forge is the best long-term plan. The other option is just grab a bridge to hide behind if they do go off. Winter Milan handing out the gift subs for, I think we take bridge. Like, the odds of them being able to cascade at instant speed with Chalice on the stack is very high. Handing out the gift subs to Zyrus, M. Snipers, Jealous, Discord, and also Jeez. Welcome y'all to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, there it is. Opponent. Cascades. Sure. Huge board. I'm not even... Do we even live? 6, 11, 15. If they have a counter, we're probably just dead. Hey, what's up, Seth Jenkins? How are you? Oh, good to have you back, Winter Malone. Opponent goes to combat. And I mean, if they have a counter, then we're double, triple, ultra dead. Opponent hits us for a ton. And they do play counters. Spells. All these spell kites. Boom, bridge. No answers, please. And... Force a negation. Wow, he didn't even cast it. Opponent's just flexing. All right. Well, that wasn't that exciting. Hey, what's up, Varian? How are you? First concert I ever went to. Oh my goodness. I want to say. Oh man. Wow, I'm having a hard time remembering the first, like the actual first one. I want to say it was a Warp Tour. It might not have been Warp Tour, but I want to say it was a Warp Tour in like Buffalo or something a long time ago. But there might have been something like right before that. I didn't go to many concerts, and then all of a sudden I went to like a ton of concerts. So, did we lose? Oh yeah, we just lose to our opponent attacking. They countered our ensnaring bridge, and then attack for lethal. Nice thing about this deck is it doesn't seem like we have to sideboard. All right, so we learned that game. The all mana no action probably doesn't do anything. Ooh, Meat Puppet CD. Meat Puppets. Oh, they just had a lethal board of creatures. I think we actually keep this. This has Tron and Threat, so we don't have Graveyard Hate, but we have most of Tron and also things to do with Tron, which is nice. Alright, Urza's Tower. Go. Yeah, maybe it's worth bringing in the All Is Dust. It could be. Opponent passes. Well, Saga. Ratchet Bomb. We're gonna start taking this bad boy up. we get up to 6, and those Cascade threats are gonna be done for. The funniest band that I've seen. Huh. Funniest. I don't feel like I've... I don't feel like I've watched any funny bands. What's an example of a band that's funny? I've definitely seen plenty of, like, eccentric and weird bands. But... Maybe the weirdest okay, but is Flight of the Kites, is that like... Are they humor or are they music? I guess it's kind of the same. Weird Al is funny, but Weird Al's like a comedian who happens to also like do music. I don't know. I mean, Weird Al's funny. I've never seen Weird Al live, but yeah, like Guar, is that funny? That's like really weird costume metal stuff. But is that like humorous? I don't even know. Opponent cycles. I mean, I think Ween can be kind of funny. Well, So far we have not really done anything, and we are getting destroyed. Yeah, well That's good. Ensnaring Bridge, no counters, please. Oh, it is Ensnaring Bridge. Get a welding jar. Bridge. Oh, come on now. Well, apparently we have 0 chance to beat this deck. Damping me. Okay. Woo! Alright. That was the furthest away from a competitive game of Magic we've played in a long time. Good lord. Saga should have been turn 1. Why should Saga have been turn 1? Leons! Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super for you. Thank you. So what would the argument be for playing Saga on turn 1? I feel like the upside of playing Tron on turn 1 is if we draw a Tron land, we get turn 3 Tron. We don't have a cage to get. I mean, I feel like the upside of Tron is better than the upside of Saga. Maybe that's not correct. Cage doesn't stop it anyway. We do have a relic. Living End is weird. Living End exiles and then puts him into play. So Grafdigger's Cage actually doesn't do anything against it. I did not cite in Grafdigger's Cage. We have a relic, but Cave doesn't actually stop Tron, or doesn't actually stop Live Again. Yeah, maybe we should have just tried to do that. Maybe we should have just went for Chalice and not cared about Tron. We move on to game number 2. Yeah, I mean, maybe that's worth it. Maybe. Well, this I assume we powder away. This deck is so weird. Sure, I guess. Maybe. We got a Karn, that's a thing. Yeah, I mean, none of it really matters when they have Force to just stop everything. No, Force Negation's 3 mana, no matter how it's cast. Like, Chalice only cares about the actual mana value, not the amount of mana that's spent to cast it. So if you free cast a Force Negation, it's still gonna be Serum Powder. Serum Powder is a weird card. It's a 3 mana rock. This says if you could mulligan and Serum Powder is in your hand, you can exile your hand and draw basically a new hand of that many cards. So kind of it's a free mulligan, but you have to exile the cards along with the Serum Powder. My guess is, and like I said, this deck is just so weird, but my guess is the idea is we're trying to use this to find Karns and the pizza ovens. Made your first cube interesting. What kind of cube did you make? Chalice. Yeah. Huh. If we Chalice, we can't Expedition Map. Now let's Expedition Map. I guess we just wait. Inventor's Fair. Go. Karn can get the cards that are exiled. That is true. The artifacts. Yeah. Serum Powder shot way up because of London Mulligans. Yes. All right, we're getting Richarded. Strangleroot Geist. Opponent. Ooh, we draw Tron land. Well, all right, play this. So what are we worried about? We're worried about Yawgmoth, but we can't get Yawgmoth this turn. Yeah, let's Sorcerer Spyglass. Oh, Scurria. Oh, they're squirrel twinning us. Well, Yawgmoth, Ran Physician. Go. Oh, I don't. Will we win a game with this deck? I don't know if we can. Ooh, a Master's Cube. That's a cool idea. About it. Lad. Cracks it. Giralf's Messenger. This is a sweet deck. I wonder if, now that we're getting Yawgmoth in Historic, I wonder if we can build something similar. The problem is you don't have the Undying creature. So I think you can build a Yawgmoth deck, but I'm not sure there's a way to combo with it. Oh, what do y'all think of the Davriel's Witherling combo? We were talking about it on YouTube today. You know, Urza Saga. Karn is going to die, but I think it's worth it. Play Karn. Take down Karn. Get a... the safe play... The safe play is just to get the bridge, which is probably what we're going to have to do. Yeah, get the bridge. Play the Welding Jar. Go. All right, we get down the bridge. We're safe from demise. Do you think that a 2-card combo that can draw the game is going to be an issue? That's my concern with the combo. Like the 3 cards. Oh, I have Vesperlark. I have Withering. I have Blood Artist. That's sweet. Like that's perfectly legitimate. Fine. Not going to be harmful in any way. Probably be a fun deck to try to build. The draw the game aspect, that makes me a little bit nervous. If people are like intentionally just drawing the game to avoid a loss, that feels a little bit awkward. Opponent hits us. Or hits Karn and us. And I mean, I don't think we care about Scurryoak because even if they go infinite, we can just hide behind the bridge. And then eventually we find the pizza oven. And then the pizza oven lets us play a bunch of cards, and then Possess Portal, and then the good times roll. There's the Oak. We gain a life. We take up Saga. Serum Powder. Well, 1, 2. Crack the map. Get a tower. Maybe we're just Urza Tribal. We got Urza's Saga. We got Urza's Tower. Power Plant. Play the bridge. Pass the turn. Is it only Cathar's Crusade? Intentionally drawing the game is just to troll. But I mean, isn't there strategic implications of it? Brick Racer for the 37th month. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super review. Thank you. Like, say you don't have the Blood Artist to finish the combo, but you're like, this game's not going very well. I'm probably not going to win. Evoke Vesperlark, Davriel's Witherling. Loop that no one can break. Draw the game. Like, on to the next one. And then you redo the game and try to get yourself in a better position. Omnicron, my day is going pretty well. How are you? Oh, Grist A. So I guess we're going to need to answer that eventually. about it. Young Wolf. Well, float a mana. Float a mana, gain a life. Hello, hello, Manico. Welcome to... Oh, no. Oh, I'm such an idiot. Welcome to the fish. That's a pun. Welcome to the fish, but that's not even a good pun. Welcome to the fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I mean, I think we're fine, though. Because we get to get Expedition Map. The Tron can overcome all puns. Crack the map. Tower, mine, power plant. Play power plant. Can this get Planeswalkers? Oh, it can. So we need to... So he plays for 3. Play Serum Powder. Play Karn. Take down Karn. Get a Pithing Needle. Ah! We don't believe in Pithing Needles, do we? Alright, that's more awkward. In that case, we don't actually have a Pithing Needle. Yeah, we don't have the mana for Liquid Metal. Hey, what's up, Matter Baby? How are you? Alright, new plan. I have not played my free... How was the free Amonkhet draft? I haven't done it yet. I've been busy doing other stuff. I still need to. Maybe we get Crucible to just loop Urza's Saga? Actually, Colster seems good. Yeah, I'll say Colster. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Chalice on 0. Pass the turn. All right. We're getting close to the portal. Hey, what's up, dog? How are you? Good to see you. Good to see you. Yeah, the Pithing Needles are in the main deck. None are in the... I guess I should have looked at the deck list. 4 and 2? Nice. That's pretty profitable for a free draft. Opponent makes an insect. So they gotta kill the Karn ice. Well, they didn't kill the Karn. I guess they can attack it? Alright, they can attack down the Karn. Hierarch goes to combat. I mean, we can also Inventors fare up a pizza oven at some point. Gonna kill the Karn. Do you enjoy Amonkhet? With 3 and 3, trying to draft white black, but got a Locust God and switched to gray. Yeah, Locust God is pretty bomby. Opponent gives up. Oh, I thought it was going to be much harder to take away our opponent's will to play Magic, but mid-combat, we didn't even do anything good. All right. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out, this deck is one of the weirder decks I've seen in a long time. So strange. Does this do anything? Kind of. So go down 1 Pithing Needle. Go down... Chalices? Chalice probably isn't worth it. Go down Chalices. Go up Graph Digger's Cage. All is dust. And try it like that. Yeah, we want one Needle on the board and one in the main deck, because Needle is kind of good in this matchup. Yeah, the 4 Torpor Orbs are kind of hilarious. It must mean Torpor Orbs really important to the deck, because everything else is like one-ofs. I don't think it's a critical mass of... Ooh, we got the oven. Can we keep this? We could pitch it. This hand might be fine, though. The Serum Powders are a little awkward, but they can ramp... You know what? We're going to keep this. Serum Powder, Go-Go Mana Rock. About it. So, what do y'all think about... Historic Brawl? Is that something you want to do anything with? Is that an interesting enough format that we should make content for it? Now that it's like a real permanent thing on Arena instead of just a once in a while special event. Dr. Slick Quantum Overlord, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big soup over here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, we could use land. Land would be decent. Torpor Orb, just in case. Too boring. It would be sweet if it developed into... Arena's Commander. I wish they had multiplayer. That would totally make it. That would be so spectacular. Hard no for me. Not even stoked for Historic as is. I mean, I don't think the Historic Brawl would be something we did often, but once in a while, maybe. Perhaps. I guess probably Brewer's Kitchen will do some of it, because I know Brewer's Kitchen really likes Brawl. Wow! They don't even play red mana, do they? I thought we were the deck with the surprise. They're playing Magus of the Moon? Is that a real thing? Does this like actually just play Magus of the Moon even though it can't cast it? That's kind of insane. Well, that is most likely game. We can win without Tron, but we can't win with one land. Alright, Jumpstone Cavern Spellskite. Whoo, the blowouts. Yeah, but still, you don't normally play cards that you can only cast with a Mana Dork. Because you might not draw that Mana Dork, or it might die repeatedly. Still. That's still so... Traditionally, that's just not something you do normally. About it. Wow, the blowouts! The blowouts! Oh no, we're not even gonna... Wow! Well, we were punished. Severely. About it, gets it, hits us. Sure. Down to 9. Really need to draw land. That is a land. Oh, it's not going to be fast enough. We just haven't been able to empty our hand fast enough. Like, we got bridges, but we can't get out of cards fast enough for them to matter. We're just gonna be dead. Well, Pone had a lot of blowouts there. Doug Geo, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big soup to your video. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I mean, if we're going to go 05 with something, might as well be Tron. Hey, what's up, Drift? How are you? Well, we'll see what we draw, but I think we're dead. Urza Saga quite literally dies with a Blood Moon on the battlefield. Alright, well. The no red mana Blood Moon and the Crime Punishment got us pretty good there. Pretty good. Well, run it back. I know we're not good enough at drawing Tron lands. Whenever I see someone else play Tron, turn 1, Urza's Tower. Turn 2, Urza's Mine. Turn 3, Urza's Power Plant. Every time. Every time. Why does Saga die to Blood Moon? I believe it's because it doesn't have a counter on it. So, if it enters a battlefield as a mountain and sacrifice... Actually, I don't know. It says it sacrifices after the 3rd lore counter. Does anyone know the actual, like... That is a lot of Tron lands and not much else. Can we afford to exile all of our Tron lands? Yeah. Powder it away, I guess. Alright, we'll keep. This is fine. This is fine. This is fine. Not great, but a solid fine. So, Urza's Mine. Expedition map. Go. Saga sacrifice self when it has more lore corners than the top, so it gets... Wait. It's still a Saga. Its max chapter is 0 because it has no abilities. Interesting. Oh, they do have red mana. Alright, they're just playing a Jund version of this deck. Spicy. Well, Gemstone Caverns. Torpor Orb. Go. Yeah, okay. They are a Blood Moon deck. They have the red mana. I accept it. The Mana Dork doesn't count as a red. I mean, it kind of does, but not really. Opponent, as a Warden, not going to do much with Torpor Orb out. Strangle Rootgeist. Opponent hits us. Sure. Well, we just need to keep hitting our land drops. Get to the pizza oven. Do cool things. Karn. Well, sack the map. Get a tower. Play the tower. Play Grafdigger's Cage. Go. Hey, what's up, Bullet Chaos? How are you? Do you think Wizards should get rid of Tibalt's Trickery and Best of One, play against it between 40 and 60% of my arena unranked? Whoa. Really? You play against it, like, almost half the time? That's kind of absurd. Getherall for the 2nd month. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super over here. Thank you. Is it really that prevalent? Like, that's not a deck that you should be... I mean... Alright, Yawgmoth. Kinda does things. Well, we will play Serum Powder. We're doing this the slow way. Serum Powder, go. Why does everyone else always have Tron on third 3 when we play against them? And we always have Tron on turn 14 after getting Blood Moon. Going to check out Historic Brawl. I mean, we've played a little bit of Historic Brawl in the past, so it's possible we do a bit more. I don't think it'll ever be something that we... Well, I don't expect it to be something that we play super regularly, but once in a while is a special thing, perhaps. Opponent. We draw Urza's Saga. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The bad news here is that Bridge doesn't even save us. Yeah, let's play the pizza oven. I think the way we can get out of it is finding Tron. Ooh! Oh, pass the turn. I don't think Bridge is enough. Our opponent's creatures are too small, and our hand is still. We need the Tron land. We need the Tron land. Tron land or bust. I haven't done my free Amonkhet draft yet. I need to get on that before it goes away. I mean, if Tybalt's Trickery is really like 50% of the time, which I don't play best of one for the most part, outside of Standard 2022, and I haven't seen Tybalt's Trickery there like at all. But I mean, if it really was somewhere near that percentage, then yes, I would say it should be banned. I don't know if maybe you're unlucky or something. I don't know. It surprises me to hear someone say that it'd be near that percentage, because that seems incredibly high. I think that Tybalt's Trickery is a deck that's like 5% of the meta is probably fine. But as a deck that's heavily played, that is definitely an issue. Evil Panda, first time sub. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super cheer for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Opponent going to hit us for a bunch. Down to 4. Well, we get a couple shots at the Tron land. Oh, yeah, exile the bridge, sadly. Serum, definitely do not want a Serum Powder. Untap. Moment of truth. Exile the powder. Come on. Karn number 40, and we're dead. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, ay, ay. I mean, if we actually had the Mana Doll as dust, maybe we're not Dirty Tron players, because we never actually have Tron. Is it really that high? Has anyone else experienced Tybalt's Trickery being... I don't think this deck wants to mold a 3, though. I feel like this is different than traditional Tron. Because this deck, it doesn't have one card that wins the game. It wants a whole bunch of stuff. That's my guess. Maybe that's incorrect. But my impression is, with this deck, 3 cards in having Tron is really bad. But 3 cards in having Tron in traditional Tron is great. I mean, we could get all his dust in another turn, but we don't live for another turn. Like, if we live another turn, then we could get a expedition map and try to do that, but we don't survive that long. Chris for the 46th month. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I think the problem with Tybalt's Trickery is incentives. I don't know if you've ever seen them. There's people that write posts like on the Arena Reddit about how, like, statistical proof that it's the best way to get your daily rewards. Like, oh, the games only last 3 turns, and they're super quick, so even though you only win 40% of the time, or whatever it is, like, this is statistically the cheapest, best way for you to earn your rewards. And I hate that Arena incentivizes that. Like, to me, that's the absolute worst part of Arena, by far. Like, doing something that you are not really enjoying repeatedly just to try to earn rewards. Like, that's where's the fun in that? When it comes out, Magic's a game. Magic's a game. People play Magic to have fun, and I wish that Arena incentivized fun more than, like, I gotta do this job. Like, the economy is really punishing. For me to build a deck in this economy, I need to hit my daily rewards. So I'm gonna take and play the fastest possible deck and hope that I can hit my rewards. And then someday, if I do this, 3 hours a day for the next 3 months, then maybe I can build a deck that I enjoy. But by that time, rotation will happen, or a new set will come out, or they'll dump 800 new cards into Historic, and then you start over playing Tybalt's Trickery for 3 hours a day to try to build a deck that you actually want to play. So it just It makes me sad because I wish that Arena was like, hey, here's these fun, cool things. Like, hey, here's this sweet against the odds deck. Sure, like the Storm deck. The Storm deck is a perfect example. We played the Storm deck last stream a little bit. What do we do with this hand? We have our island. I kind of think we just powder it again. We got no Tron pieces. We do have Karn and Mystic Forge, but we're up against Luris, so we're probably going to get Thought Seized. This we like. This is pretty good. We will keep. We get to start with a Gemstone Cavern. Exiling. Welding Jar. All right, this hand might be decent. It might be decent enough. But I wish that people would be like, hey, like I wish Arena incentivized people to be like, oh, I want to build this cool thing. Here's this cool Storm deck. Sure, you're going to win 30% of the time, 35% of the time, but it's really fun to play, and when you do win, it's spectacular, and you're going to really love it. I wish that the way the economy worked on Arena incentivized people to be able to do that, or even allowed people to be able to build decks like that. I wish that the Arena worked in a way that people could do that, but sadly, that's just not how it works. So you got people playing Tibalt's Trickery, or you got people that are only playing the tier decks because they don't have any other choice. So that's what makes me sad about Arena, is a lot of, like, the most fun aspects... A lot of the most fun aspects of Magic seem to get lost, mostly because of how the economy works. Well, charge up Ratchet Bob. Opponent steals our expedition map. We gotta use that. Well, Urza's Saga. Yeah. Opponent. This is not a budget deck. Do you remember the Serum Powder Eldrazi deck from a few years ago? I'd love to be able to see you play that deck. It's so unique. Serum Powder Eldrazi is a sweet idea. There were some sweet synergies. Yeah, that could be a fun deck to revisit. All right, kill the Ragavan. Kill our expedition map. Opponent plays an Islet, passes. We draw Serum Powder. Play Blast Zone. Yeah, I think we just gotta make constructs since our opponent's leaving up counters. I agree. In a slightly related way, it would be so simple to fix Tibalt's Trickery. How could they fix Tibalt's Trickery? Why didn't Historic Horizons release today? I know, that's a huge disappointment. I wish we had the opportunity to play new Historic stuff. Or try Jumpstart itself. But it wasn't ready, apparently. Wizards had to delay it by 2 weeks because apparently it wasn't done. I guess in their defense, all of these mechanics are weird and different and likely not things that they had really programmed into Arena before. So I could see why Arena might be struggling with it a bit. Make a construct, block a Ragavan. Opponent passes. Alright, let's see what we draw. A bridge. Well, one. Float the mana. Get a... Oh, Pithy Needle on their land would be kind of funny. I don't think it would be good, but it'd be funny. Oh! Expedition map's probably the best. The bridges have looked bad? My guess is that's a small sample size thing. We'll see. I'll play a Serum Powder. Opponent apparently going to counter it. Untap land. Wow. All right. Well, all right, they got a counter. Play the tower, pass the turn. So this is like Grixis. It's kind of crazy that Ragavan shows up in control. Why are Tron players dirty? I mean, because they're playing Tron, obviously. How is that even a question? How is that deck? How does this deck win? Very good question. So far, the answer is it doesn't. But we'll see if we can change that. Oh my God, Ragavan number 30. Opponent. Very good at drawing the monkey. Gets in. Steals. Welding jar. Plays welding jar. Picks up the monkey. Well, get a power plant. Untap. Draw. Ratchet Bomb. Well, play Ratchet Bomb. Ensnaring Bridge. About it. More counters. Well, pass the turn. Well, someday we're going to resolve something, and it might be sweet. That's true. They do keep stealing, like, welding jars and expedition map that just don't really do a whole lot for their deck. About it. That's the upside of playing cards no one else wants. Mystic Forge. That one we did actually want. The bigger problem is this is giving our opponent a ridiculous amount of mana. Is it better to be a Tron player than a Hammer Time player? Morally in this modern meta, I like Hammer Time. Opponent's going to get a Lure, it's going to pick up their Dork. Well, let's see if they have another counter. Mystic Forge. Spellskite on top while we will pass the turn. Alright. Well, here comes Luris. Kind of crazy how much of Modern is cards printed in the last year. Ragavan with Dash. Yeah, we don't really want this Spellskite, so sure. Hit away, opponent, hit away. Mecha, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super your review. Thank you. Another Chalice. Could really use Tron. The mana from Tron would be helpful. Opponent plays a land. Gonna play our Spellskite. Archlift, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super your review. I would say Infect is dirtier than Hammer Time. Hammer Time is cute. Cute and kind. It's a nice friendly deck. Well, exile the Chalice. Another Ratchet Bomb. Exile the Ratchet Bomb. Okay. Well, that is a way that we can get Tron slowly. Expedition map. Crack it. Urza's mine. Play it. Karn. About it. Whoa, do they really have Drought in the Lock number 3? They really do have Drought in the Lock number 3. Alright, well. Chalice on 1. Go. Oh, yeah. What a weird draw. Every Ragavan, every Drown in the Lock, and Luris. About it. Learning about Chalice and Dash. And how it still counts as a 1 CMC spell. There's a good example of the mana value question that came up earlier. Dash Ragavan, still 1 mana. Chalice still does not care. I'll take up Ratchet Bomb. Untap. Draw Tron land. Serum Powder. Urza's mine. Go. Gonna keep the Inventor's Fair. I think the Inventor's Fair is good enough. Opponent taps. Goes to combat. I feel like having Chalice on 1 is more valuable long term. Down to 4. Steam Vents. Tapped. Because they have way more 1-drop stuff. And Karn isn't... I mean, we would like a Karn eventually, but it's not super essential that we have to have it right now. Play Inventor's Fair. Crack Inventor's Fair. Chalice on 1 makes it hard to cast some of our stuff, doesn't it? Come to think of it. Spellskite, I guess? Boom. Expedition map countered. This deck! Spellskite. Pass the turn. So we have 1 Karn that we must resolve to have a chance of winning this game? About it. Mishra's Bauble. Cracks the Bauble. Sees our land. This is another Bauble. Oh, that's the Luris Bauble. Yeah. Well, I guess we're going to have to kill the Luris then. Opponent gets in. Yeah, I guess we could have done that a little bit earlier. Kill the Luris. Opponent passes. Untap. Opponent gets to draw a new hand. Chalice on 2 and 3 would lock the opponent, right? Probably. Well, we draw a bridge. It would also lock a lot of our stuff, but maybe that's fine. Relic. Alright, there's an Urza Saga coming. Play the tower, pass the turn. Swing for 0! Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh yeah, I didn't realize you couldn't actually see it. Mono Green Stumpy. Opponent can draw a bunch of cards. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. 4 years. That is absolutely insane. Oh, speaking of questionable brews, this is proving to be questionable in its own right. Sure, opponent, more baubles. And cracks it. Seth, remember that time like 4 years ago when you 5-0'd with blue-black deck Pirate God? Oh yeah, geez, that was a minute ago. That was a long time ago. That was a sweet deck though. Scarab God was quite the card. About it. Passes. Draws a card. Well, alright. Down to 3, exile, more lands. Urza's. I mean, we've gone through our entire deck, and this, we're not, I don't think we're going to win this game. We've played through essentially our entire deck, and we're not going to be able to win. Drex for the 4th month. Welcome to the Bitch Bowl. Crocs. Obviously. Oh, sweet Jesus. All right. Well, yeah. Pithing Needle doesn't do anything. I wonder why this deck has multiple Pithing Needles in the main deck. Well, run it like that. I remember when Seth went undefeated with his Cycling Shadow of the Grave New Perspective deck. Oh, that deck was some sweet jag. Yeah, I guess maybe we should have just chaliced on. Tried to keep chalicing and not worried about casting stuff. I really want to build a Tron deck that scares people by getting Tron out quickly, that makes them laugh by playing stuff like Clockwork Dragon and Guardian of Ages. That'd be pretty funny. Oh, giant baiting. Yeah, that was a super sweet draft. Limited is tough. Limited is tough. Every once in a while, something really cool happens, but it's so hard to control because you can't like build a cool deck and play it. You have to hope that you open random cards that allow you to build a cool deck. This is one of those hands that has Tron, but nothing to go with it. Which I don't think is actually good. Well, this has Tron and I guess slightly more. Well, we'll see. We'll see if spells, resolve, tower, go. About it. Polluted Delta. Cracks it. Thoughtseize is kind of rough. Blood Crypt, Untapped, and Ragavan. Also kind of rough. Well, Urza's mine. Chalice on 1. Guess we're gonna have to take the monkey beats. Any reason why Tron decks don't run Golos? I mean, traditionally they don't have the colors of mana to activate it. You could play something like Cascading Cataracts or something. I think it's probably mostly just curve purposes. Opponent's gonna draw some cards. I think it's mostly just curve purposes, where normally Tron is trying to play a 7-drop on turn 3. So Golos is not especially exciting compared to casting a Karn or something like that. So that's kind of the issue, I think. Opponent cracking. Are they going to learn a Chalice lesson again? Well, I mean, Tron with Mystic Forge, we might actually be able to do things. Untap land. Explosives on 0. Okay. Well, power plant. Mystic Forge. Expedition map. Spellskite. Go. Alright. Well, so opponent can blow up the Chalice for now to turn on their 1-drops again. But we got the pizza oven. Opponent. Bobbles. Well, we're going to lose our Chalice, so we probably are going to be going back to Chalice on 1, I assume. If they explosives. Expressive Iteration. Deck draws so many cards with Expressive Iteration. We can't really do anything with 0 mana until this explosives goes away. More bobbles. Cracks it. Yeah, I guess we're probably gonna get rid of the blast zone. Opponent draws a bunch of cards. Well, Spellskite. Gemstone Caverns. Snaring Bridge. Go. I mean, we're locking a lot of pieces on the battlefield. Can we get to a portal? Can we get a portal? Seth, I ordered 1 large cheese and 2 large veggie levers. Can I order 1 large cheese and 2 large veggie levers on my tab? Of course. I got you. About it. Let's say buyer. Yeah, I think we gotta wait until after they explosives to play another Chalice. I still feel like Chalice on 1 is probably more important. That's an odd choice. So opponent explosives on every number. Passes. We get an Inventor's Fair. This might make our opponent blow in explosives, actually. Why did they play in explosives on 1? Like, isn't this really... Oh, Drown in the Lock, okay. Well, guess what? Welding Jar. They keep coming. Inventor's Fair. Pizza Oven. Go. So I think we're like kind of locking this game up. I think we're finally seeing this deck sort of do what it wants to do. Now we need Karn to get the Possessed Portal, and then things are... Wow, another one. Another expressive iteration. And then things are exactly where we want them to be. We got a new donation from More Cowbell. $5 donation. Pronounced Mo, like Mo, Larry, and Curly. Cowbell. Mo Cowbell. Formerly Dark Puka. Hey, Dark Puka. I like the name update. Thank you for the donation. And Mo Cowbell. That's classic. Opponent, Croxa. At this point, with a new house looming, how much would you have to donate to watch the anchovy pineapple pizza? Maybe we got to do another pizza stream. I was thinking we have to do another one. I was thinking of probably waiting until after the move, but we definitely need to do another one. This is a really janky, weird build of Tron. That's what got me to play Tron. As much as I hate Tron, I also really love Possessed Portal. It's just like a weird card that never really sees any play. So that's what made me want to try this deck was Possessed Portal. Well, exile the land. Play a Serum Powder. Play a Ratchet Bomb. Play an Urza Saga. Pass the turn. I feel like we're not doing anything though. Like we're putting things on the battlefield, but are we really doing anything? What is the worst kind of pizza? Yeah, I think another pizza donation stream is a good chance. Sometime this fall or maybe towards the holidays. Opponent. Yeah, we will end up searching with Inventor's Fair. I don't think we have anything great to get, though. Our best artifact in the main deck is another pizza oven. But we already have 2. And the life gain is kind of nice. And, okay, so opponent is going to crack the explosives. We are going to save the Chalice. Opponent is going to crack the other explosives, which I believe only kills their Ragavan. Yeah, you got us. The Chalice on 1 is the weirdest play I've ever seen. But, yeah, okay, score. Opponent. Weird chocolate dessert pizza. Yeah, dessert pizza as a concept is weird to me. sauceless. There's actually sauceless pizza. Yeah, I think our opponent just punted. Opponent said it was a brain fart. They were counting it at 1 CMC. Not exactly sure what that means, but it was a mistake. Inventor's Fair. Oh, there's the Karn. Okay. If we can resolve our stuff, the time has come. Karn. Take it down. Yes. Portal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have done it. We have played a Possessed Portal. All right. Possessed Portal. Possessed Portal says, if a player would draw a card, they skip that draw instead at the beginning of their end step. That player sacks a permanent unless they discard a card. So, the end result of this is going to be a flawless victory. Our opponent eventually is going... We have Spellskites for protection. We get to keep playing cards off the top of our deck with Mystic Forge. Eventually, all of our opponent's hands and permanents will be eaten away. We can dirtle around and kill our opponent eventually. Oh, all right. That's good. That's good. Even if we don't win another game with this deck and we switch on to another deck, I'm fine. We did it. We got someone with a Possessed Portal in Modern, which I love Possessed Portal. It's just they don't make cards like this anymore. And this is kind of, like, this card is brutal. What do you think about this card in Commander? Do you think this card is across the line in Commander? Like, would you put this in your Commander deck? And if you did put this in your Commander deck, do you think you would just get murdered before it did anything? You love it in EDH? Have you actually played it? Do you just get killed? Or is there actually time for it to grind people out? I assume it has to be one of the saltiest cards. My buddy used it and it was miserable. Seems like a slam dunk in EDH, absolutely yes. Played in mono green. Just like ramp into it and have a bunch of lands. Oh, Madraltha with Portal. Oh, yeah, that keeps it going forever, doesn't it? Yes, please. Only in the second game, probably. Gotta make the second game last. It's a ton of fun playing with Teferi's Puzzle Box. I mean, ooh, Duretti seems like you get home for it. I'm imagining you just get killed a lot. Like, if your opponents can't... Yeah. Okay. If your opponents can't, if they can't remove the portal, they probably just try to remove you. Opponent bobbles. I personally wouldn't, because it's a huge target on your back, and it would just upset people without any major benefit. Yeah, it doesn't really do anything helpful. It doesn't really do anything at all as far as progressing the game or helping you. Always a monkey. Always a monkey. Oh, another power plant. Well, power plant. Expedition map, go. Oh, we're going to get a little monkey beat in here, I think. When I play it, it usually wins. Wait, how does it win your game on the spot? I think the Fairy Knowledge Pool is miserable. The Fairy Knowledge Pool just straight up hard locks the rest of the table. Stasis does a lot of what Possessed Portal does, but it's 2 mana. Like, they used to just make 2 mana cards that essentially lock people out of playing the game. Now that one costs 8 mana, and now they don't make them anymore at all. They're just, like, not a thing. Opponent, Watery Grave, untapped. And, oh my god. Ragavan is just an absurd card. Alright. We got nothing. Sorceress Spyglass. That will show them. Urza Saga. Let's see what's going on in that hand. Unholy Heat for some reason. Boom. Not cracking that fetch. Your go. They still make lock pieces sometimes. Yeah, I mean, do they? What's the most recent lock piece they've made? Overwhelming Splendor. Yeah. Overwhelming Splendor is like 8 mana and it's a pretty soft lock. It's like all it does is make your creatures. It's like Humility but twice as much mana. They used to make that effect for half the mana. So I feel like it's not actually all that exciting, but Urza's mine. Yeah. Well, I guess we're gonna put Urza Saga to the test again in our Urza tribal deck. Treasure is a mana ability, so it doesn't actually do anything. Opponent, Alpine Moon off the top. Make a construct. It's actually a pretty good draw for our opponent. Kills Urza Saga. Of course. And Pirika! Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big soup to your video. Thank you. About it. Mishra's Bobble returns. Yeah, maybe we should name Bobble. Cracks a bobble, takes a peek. Not looking good. Opponent draws a card. Ratchet Bomb. Playing Venter's Fair. Ratchet Bomb. Pass the turn. Yeah, I mean, Loris is just a broken card. Urza Saga was one of my first sets when I started making Magic, so the card makes me happy. Definitely a cool flavor card. It seems like people are preparing more and more for it, that's for sure. Opponent, gonna draw an extra card. If we go down to 2 artifacts, then they can kill the construct with Unholy Heat. And then... Alright, opponent just top decked. I mean, I guess they're drawing multiple cards each turn, so... but yeah, if we went down to 2 power, then we lose our only blocker, and then Ragavan does its thing, and Luris does its thing. Opponent hits a Graph Digger's Cage. Steam Vents untapped. And Abundant Croxa. That would have been nice to shut that down. Discard Urza Saga. This one's looking pretty over. Opponent draws an extra card. Karn. There's times when this would have been good. I don't know if this is one of them, though. Yeah. Well, I don't know. I feel like this is a deck that one person in the world can win with. Hey, what's up, lesbian? How are you? Good to see you. Actually, you know what? Let's try the other deck. I think that's enough dirty trotting. I think I've given up. So why don't we learn about this deck? I don't know. With me playing it, I think it is absolutely horrible. Perhaps one of the worst decks of all time. But apparently there exists a human being in the world. One unique individual who can win with this deck. It reminds me a little bit of Jeff Hoogland. Jeff Hoogland was kind of infamous for was kind of infamous for being able to win with decks that no one else could win with. He would play like his own brews, like five color weird piles of Court of Calling stuff, and he would always have success with them. But if anyone else picked up those decks, they would get absolutely crushed with them. So I don't know, I guess maybe a deck just clicks with someone. This deck, yeah, it's cute that it has Possess Portal. I don't know. Maybe there's a way you practice it enough and get good with it, but I feel like, I don't know. If you're going to play Tron and be a dirty Tron player, you might as well at least get the satisfaction of slamming Big Karn on turn 3 and getting free wins, rather than getting yourself labeled a dirty Tron player and having WotC make fun of you on social media, and have to struggle and claw and like try to pithy needle the right thing. Why are you playing Tron then? Play Lantern Control. Like, if you're gonna play Tron and have access to 7 mana, why are we using it to cast pithing needles and like spell skites? Well, you could just be like casting a big thing that wins the game. So I'm sure that there are certain people who do really well with the deck, but I am not one of those people. Not even close. Good news is we got a pile that we didn't get to experience much before, that we could experience a little bit more, and that is the very opposite of that last deck. We are not dirty Tron players. We are, I don't even know, recruiters. I guess we're recruiters. Do you think they'll ban anything other than Bobble? I hope they ban. I mean, if I was going to pick, I'd pick Luris. I really don't understand why Luris is a thing. Anyway, so this deck that we're going to switch to, and I should update the stream title because I don't want people to think we're still dirty Tron players. This deck is the exact opposite of the last deck. This deck has one of anything that you can imagine, from Toskies to Wall of Omens to Charming Princess to Sanctifier Advex to Spell Sorter Sprites. Must be pretty good in the deck. Actually, there's a lot of 1-mana stuff, so it makes sense. A Meddling Mage, just in case. Maybe a Glasspool Mimic, a Magus of the Moon, some Endurances, a Turtle Witness, you know, all the value stuff in the world. And the idea is, maybe we draw an Ether Vial, and we Ether Vial, and we get it on 3, and we start putting Imperial Recruiters into play, and those tutor up things. Toski to draw some cards, maybe Restoration Angel to blanket to tutor up something else. There is no combo. There's no Kiki Jiki. We're not dirty. We might be dirty Tron players every once in a while, but we're not dirty combo players. A man's got to have his code, you know. So that's just a step too far. We can play Tron lands, but combo. And I mean, really, is Kiki Jiki Resto a combo anyway, or is it a synergy? That's up for debate. But anyway, it's just value. It's just blink value, 80 cards. If there's any one of you would like to add to this deck, I will add it to the deck. If it's tutorable by Recruiter. So give me your suggestions, and then we're going to try 4-color Recruiter. Can you think of any spicy one-ofs? The criteria is, they cannot be black, because we don't have black mana, and they have to have power 2 or less, so they can be recruited. 1 Panharmonicon. That does not fit any of their criteria, but it is a Panharmonicon. So I will forgive you, and consider adding a copy of Panharmonicon to the deck. I even have an old border copy. Crafty Cut Purse. Oh my god. What? My problem is, what does Crafty Cut Purse hit? Like, is there any deck in the meta that Crafty Cut Purse actually hits on? Is anyone making tokens? I guess you get like a Ragavan Treasure token. Ooh, Karmic Guide. Now, Karmic Guide, that actually sounds spicy. 2-mana 2/2 when it enters battlefield, reanimate something. All right. I think you sold me on Karmic Guide. Collector Oof. So we have a Collector Oof in the sideboard. So we already have a Collector Oof. Masked Vandal. I feel like if we were going to go Masked Vandal, we'd probably go Knight of Autumn, which does the same thing essentially, but more. So I think that if we want that effect, we go with Knight of Autumn. Ooh, Kasima. Oh, I don't know if I have a Kasima. I do have a Cosmic Larva. 3 mana, 7/6 trample. Beating your upkeep, sack 2 lands. Spirit of Faith. I mean, we got Yarion. We are a dirty Yarion deck. Wait, what were we looking for? Yeah, Stoneforge plus equipment's probably. Oh, I guess the other criteria is I gotta have it in my collection, and I don't think I have Spirit of Faith in my collection. We're not a combo deck. We're not a combo deck. We don't want to. Ooh, Agent of Treachery. That's kind of hilarious. It's so much mana. It's so much mana. Is there any way we're actually gonna have enough? There's no way we. I think Agent of Treachery is just too much mana. We only have 28 lands in our deck. I don't think there's any way we're actually getting to that amount of mana. Permeate. Oh no, that's a. Actually, do I have a permeating Baz? No. It actually would be kind of funny because it does. As a 1/3, it does block Ragavan for days. It does block Ragavan for days. I don't think we can get Vile up to 8, 7. We have an Avalanche Riders in the sideboard. Vesperlark. When it leaves the battlefield, reanimated creature power 1 or less. So that'd be Giver of Runes, Coatl, Meddling Mage. Recruit. Okay. Alright, that seems fine. Alright, should we play Magic? I don't think we have enough. We don't have enough lands to graze it. Maybe we can on one Spell Stutter. The 83 card special. I mean, we're already 80 cards. How much can 3 more hurt? Really? I guess we should add 1 more land to make up for it. Alright. Boom. 84 card special. Mill is not gonna beat us. Mill is not gonna beat us. Do we have enough Artifact 8? Probably not, but oh, Muldrifter. Oh. Okay, Muldrifter. Do we even need Muldrifter? You know what? I do like Muldrifter. Oh, all right. We're just gonna route like this. All right. Good suggestions. Muldrifter, I think, would be sweet. Lavinia is not 2 powerless. So puppy question. So I just actually got an email from someone on the stream, and I don't know if this is a real thing that I should be concerned about. Has anyone heard that it is unwise to get 2 puppies that are siblings from the same litter? The puppies are doing well, but that's something that I guess I didn't know that. And then I had a couple people email me and say, like, yeah, that's like a known thing. Breeders won't even sell you 2 puppies from the same litter. And that made me a little nervous. And I was like, oh, like, is this a real thing that I should be? I guess the issue for what people are saying is they bond with each other instead of you. And they can be difficult to control or whatever. Never heard that before. That makes me feel not a problem at all. Okay, how about this? Have any of you ever had 2 puppies at the same time from the same litter? Because that would make me feel much better about it. How did they do? The thing that makes me nervous is they are Rottweilers. And Rottweilers, I've known some incredibly nice Rottweilers, which is why I'm comfortable getting Rottweilers. But Rottweilers also are big, strong, powerful animals. So the idea, I would like a nice chill a nice chill dog. And the idea of having Rottweilers who don't like me, that is not especially appealing. So that's what made me nervous. If they were like, oh, they'll definitely be treated super well. I had two puppies from the same litter, different fathers. One was a runt of the litter. Yeah, one of these actually actually died when it was being born. It died and had to be brought back to life, which I think makes me like it even more. It's got the sympathy factor. Let's just play a triome. Play a triome. Pass the stirred. Start violin. Oh yeah, I will. They will be socialized. It's basically a zombie dog, and it's also the funny thing is it ended up that's bear. It ended up being the biggest of the entire litter. It's just huge. It's gonna be such a huge dog. It's just got the biggest head. I gotta get a video. Next time I see them, I'll have to get a video to show you because they are absolutely hilarious when they run. They run kind of like they're drunk. Like they haven't fully grown into their body or something yet, and they're not fully coordinated. So they kind of like stumble a little bit and trip over themselves, and it is absolutely cute and hilarious. Kira Ashmore for the 53rd month. Well, my God. Welcome to the fishbowl. Boo. Thank you so much for your subscription. Not booing you, Kira. Booing this Archmage's term, stealing our Aether Vial. Thank you for your subscription. Big soup to you for you. Thank you. Well, land. Crack the land. Get a snow-covered plains. Charming Prince. Scry. Oh, we really needed that vial. Bottom top. Giver of Runes. Archmage's Charm is kind of a crazy card. Giving blue access to hard removal is actually kind of insane. We need a puppy cab. That's actually kind of a fun idea. How did Tron do? Did it go really poorly? We went 0-3, and it was also Tron. We did get a Possessed Portal win, which was the main goal. So, oh, jeez. Oh. So after we got the Possessed Portal win, we figured might as well stop being dirty Tron players. Go back to being good human beings. And play some nice, clean 4-color recruiter action. Oh my God. I kind of wish we had a Muldrifter here. Muldrifter would actually be sweet. Toski? Probably Toski. Yeah. All right. Can you beat a Toski? Can you beat the squirrel? Oh, sorry, Damon. Yeah, we did a bit of it and then decided to switch for the second part of the stream. Toski's probably our best option, although Path to Exile still gets it. Opponent. Toski has some natural wrath protection. It's not protected from Path, but yeah, Tron was pretty bad. Which, I mean, I think that makes me feel better because it is Tron. Opponent. Jace the Mind Sculptor. Brainstorms. Oh dear. Get a Hallowed Fountain. Tapped. Well, go Squirrel Power. I think it depends. I think Prismatic Ending has seen the most play, but I think Pass still also is in the mix. Well, alright. Toski. As good as the squirrel is, I'm not sure it can race a Jace. attack you. Well, yeah, okay. Sure, sure. Well, it might be... might be time for game number 2. Oh, is the stream laggy for you? Huh. It looks fine on my end. I mean, Path kills Monkey at instant speed. I think that's actually... wouldn't Monkey be one of the reasons to play Path? Alright. We're not going to do this for an hour or two. We'll go on to game number 2. But wouldn't Monkey be a reason? I would think that Monkey would be a reason to play Path over the other options. Just because you want to be able to answer it before it hits you. Huh. What's good against control? Land destruction. Land destruction? Maybe the endings? What's bad against control? Sanctifier and Vac. Sanctifier and Vac. Knight of Autumn. Solitudes. Alright. Run it like that. Where can I find the 5-0 affinity list you ran the other day? It was sweet. Well, if you want to see the video, it's on the replay YouTube. But I can snag the deck list for you. All right. Yarion. Well, we got a vial again. We'll see. We'll see if it gets immediately stolen. I wonder how big of a deal Archmage's Storm's going to be in Historic. I kind of feel like it's going to be insane. Oh, this mana. Do you have Steam Vents? No. White, green, green, red. Well, Stomping Grounds. And Ether Vial. Go. Here is the affinity list. Why are we playing 84? There was a few suggestions. A few suggestions from the chat to be added. All right, opponent has the answer. Well, pass the turn. Boy, we cannot stick Ether Vial against this deck. We cannot stick an Ether Vial. Have you played any 4-color Rockrick lists? Yeah, we played some Rockrick right after Modern Horizons 2 released. Not a ton, but we have played... Oh, jeez. But we have played a bit. It could be fun to revisit at some point. Opponent. Hitting their land drops, unfortunately. Alright, we hit a land drop. Finally. Windswept Teeth cracked. Get a... Hallowed Fountain. Giver of Runes. Yeah. Vial does not seem very good at sticking on the battlefield. Opponent. Aspiring Spike tearing up with... Wait. What list was Aspiring Spike playing? Burning with Vesperlark Gavrio's Witherless. Very easy, but very dumb. I feel like something is going to have to happen with the ban list. I mean, I feel like the actual, like, full combo is pretty fine and healthy. I'm more worried about the draw of the game part. The draw of the game part is the part that makes me a bit nervous. Yeah, I mean, everything's just going to get countered. Without having access to the vial, all of our fun stuff is just going to get countered repeatedly. Opponent. Counter spell. Well, I guess we hit you for one. Pass the turn. Yeah, the 3-card combo's fine. 2 cards for, what, 3-4 mana? Draw the game? That's the part that I feel like is potentially an issue. I don't know if that's something we want. I don't know if that's something Wizards wants to be a part of competitive play. Like, if it's a fringe thing that doesn't really see play, then sure. But if it ends up being something... Yeah, I mean, we're just going to go to the next game. we're just, I mean, we got crimmed. Sure, fine. Play all your Planeswalkers. Can you guys do some more 5-tick commander decks? Just starting playing Moto and having fun brewing. I will suggest it as a future theme. I think it's definitely possible we do some more at some point. The actual combo is just okay, but the fact that in a board state you can say, I don't like to lose, please. Yeah, that's the part that like concerns me. Digital, but how would they errata it? Like, they could errata it, but I think there's 2 things. One is, I feel like the issue will come up again. 2 is, do they want to change their new digital exclusive card so they just kind of like hyped up? Like, if they just hype this whole like, we're doing this crazy new thing, making digital exclusives, is errating one immediately a failure? Or would that be looked at as like, that's just how it works with digital. Like, you throw it out there, if it's broken, then you fix it. That's the reason they made digitally exclusive cards. You think that's a reason they made digitally exclusive cards? Interesting. Interesting. I mean, I don't think isn't that the main benefit? But I mean, it's 32 cards out of, I don't know, 10,000 or something. I'm not sure exactly how many are in historic. So I don't think it has like that big. It just doesn't do that much when you have. So it's such a small percentage of the cards in historic that even if you can errata the 32 digital exclusive cards, like, does that do anything? Is that even an upside when it's like such a small amount and most of them are unplayable anyway? Can you draw the game that way in Arena? Wouldn't the player run out of time first? I mean, you're making actions. I don't feel like you should run out of time. I don't know. I guess we'll see when you can actually play with it. I don't know if there's definitely been games drawn on Arena, and it pops up the like, you must take another action or something horrible is going to happen to you. Like, that is an actual thing. So, yeah. I guess we'll have to see for sure once we play it. Like, the rules are that it draws the game. Whether or not it'll take the action enough times to draw the game on Arena, I guess we'll have to see. Davriel's Withering with Vesperlark. Basically, Perpetually is just such a weird, unique mechanic. But basically, if you hit Vesperlark with Withering, if you hit Vesperlark with Withering, it makes it a one, I think technically -1, but a 1/0 forever, so it can reanimate itself. So basically, Vesperlark Withering, Vesperlark just keeps reanimating itself. If you have a Blood Artist, you win the game. If you don't have a Blood Artist or another creature to reanimate, it just does that forever until the game ends in a draw. There are situations where Arena would time the person out first, but I guess by the rule the game would end in a draw. Maybe Arena saves it somehow. I guess we'll have to see once we can actually play it. You can just route a Witherling to be opponent only. Doesn't change the card that and avoids that stuff. Yeah, that would be an option. Could make it so it didn't. If you made it so it didn't reduce power, and it was just like -0, -2, that would prevent this combo. But like I said, there could definitely be more that come up in the future. I think one spicy thing about the Vesperlark deck is if you go all in on making Blood Artist Vesperlark your only creatures beside Faceless Agent, you have ways to draw the ones you're missing thanks to Seek. Ooh, that is true. I wonder how good Faceless... Well, you wouldn't be able to control which one you hit, would you? Huh. How good do you think Faceless Agent will be? Let's grab an island. Run out Restoration Angel. I mean, we got our value chain going. Hopefully and find Panharmonicon would be sweet. We have so many one-ups that would be sweet. Quaddle, draw a card. Alright, more lands. Well, we're hitting our lands this game. Opponent going to mill even more lands. Not going to be easy for our opponent to mill us out. I thought that the rule in paper is that you would concede, similar to the World Gorger Animate Dead combo. Wait, you would concede? Why do you have to concede to the World Gorger Animate Dead combo? This is a modern, but our opponent's deck does look very standardish, doesn't it? Maybe rogues are good enough for modern. Opponent is filling her graveyard. Goes to combat. And passes. Well, play a land. Play... Actually, let's crack the land. Snow-covered forest. Go to combat. Attack ya. Can you draw a game with 3 O-rings on Moto or just timeout? Seems like a close comparison. Opponent. Yeah, the Moto and Arena work very differently as far as clock. On Moto, you just have 25 minutes for your match. And that's it. I think there's a timer that sometimes works, that if you don't make any actions for 5 to 10 minutes, it'll auto concede you. But otherwise, you can use your 25 minutes however you want to. Like I could spend 21 minutes and 20 seconds making this turn, and that would be perfectly acceptable. So yeah, on Moto you would time out, but Moto doesn't have the same clock restrictions. How do we do this? Let's 1-2 Charming Prince. Opponent counters. Alright, well, Ice Fang Quaddle. Draw a card. Well, pass the turn. These ephemerates could be helpful. Opponent. If you create an infinite loop and are not able to afford the game state, I remember the rules you had to concede. The World Order Animate Dead was an old combo where you made infinite mana and then killed by a Caravix Torch. But if you torch is countered by something, the cycle of World Gorger and Animate Dead continues indefinitely. Yeah, so the current rules are... The current rules are that if there's a loop that can't be broken, the game ends in a draw. So I don't know if it was different at some point in the past. It's possible that it was different at some point in the past, but currently, if there's a loop that can't be broken, the game ends in a draw. All right, so opponent, multiple interactive spells. Azika, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Gets it, hits us, mills some cards. Well, we'll see. We drop to 8. Opponent passes. Aladrami's call. Interesting. Well, what can we call for? Aladrami's call. Oh, Deputy of Detention seems good. Oh, Toski would be so sweet if we weren't getting beat down. Aladrami's call. Deputy of Detention. Untap land. Deputy of Detention. Get rid of Thieves Guild Enforcer. ×2. Go to combat. Smack ya. Oh, maybe we're winning the race. Opponent takes it. Okay. Our Blinky Panharmonicon value is coming through. How was Tron earlier? We got someone with Possess Portal once, but could not figure out what that deck was trying to do or how it was going to work. I have no idea how that deck actually is successful. It was a really, really weird build of Tron. Without any of like the powerful just I win the game finishers. Yeah, opponent's deck is pretty standard-ish. Not like fully standard, there's some counter spells and fetch lands, but the rogue base is very similar to standard rogues. I got stormed off by OP's Joyra Aetherflux combo in Historic Brawl, and it was sweet. Ooh. What are some sweet decks in Historic Brawl? Also, did they unban Golos? Unbanning Golos seems like a very odd choice. Ooh, our friend Vesperlark. And our opponent's been filling the graveyard. Go to combat. Attack you. Attack you. Opponent. Down to 2. Vesperlark. Actually looking pretty good. Can get back a Coatl or the Recruiter. Or a Spellsteader, I guess. Opponent tried so hard to mill us, but they did not get far enough. About it. Drown in the lock on Deputy. Well, alright. Ephemerate. Resto. Blink Deputy. Opponent mills us a bunch. Yeah. Good thing we're playing 84 cards. We are the hard counter. There goes our Panharmonicon though. Alright. Well, it's like none of that ever happened. Except our Resto's adept now. About it. Adapts at 2. Oh, try to standard rogues us, will ya? What do you think of what do you think Kamigawa Neon Destiny is? I mean, it's gotta be a return to Kamigawa. It seems like the best guess seems to be like a steampunk style set. So the list was 80 cards, but then there were a few suggestions from chat right before we started, so we ended up adding in a couple more for fun. Well, Ephemerate, Blink Vesperlark. Oh, Ephemerate's an historic too. Get back Recruiter. The value. What do you want Kamigawa to be? Oh, Returning to Lorwyn would be so sweet. I'd be very down with a Return to Lorwyn. Let's Eternal Witness. Play Eternal Witness. Get back Ephemerate. Go to Kaba. Attack you. Yeah, so I think that Kamigawa was 1,000 years back in time. So the future set would naturally be like 1,000 years after, which makes some amount of sense to me. I want to see Return to Lorwyn and Shadowmoor just because the art is some of the best of modern sets. I absolutely love just the actual mechanics are fine. I mean, that is one of the rumored. I think we talked about the rumored upcoming sets, right? Let me see if I can find it again. Okay, so here's the rumor, and obviously we don't know if this is true or not, but it lines up with what we've seen so far. So I actually think, not only do I think this could be real, but I think it actually hits the mark with what people have been asking for. So, winter 2022, Kamigawa Neon Destiny, that actually seems likely based on the domain being registered at the same time a year after Kaldheim was registered. So it would make sense for it to be the winter set this year. Chandelar something, I don't know about Chandelar. Return to Dominaria again. That makes sense. Phyrexians, we've been building towards, so apparently Wizards was planting the seeds for this like 2 years ahead. Mwandi, I don't even know what Mwandi is. Something unique and new, I guess, for fall 2022. Clashes of Lorwyn, Return to Lorwyn, 2 Eldrazi theme sets, and then new Phyrexian set. So apparently, if this rumor is true, the next 2 years are building towards 2 years from now, Phyrexia versus Eldrazi. But it's hitting a lot of things people ask for. Kamigawa, Return to Lorwyn, Return to Dominaria is going to be sweet. Eldrazi, I don't know why we're getting more Eldrazi. Like, I don't know. What do you think about Eldrazi? Like, do you want more Eldrazi? I feel like Chandelar theme was 5 evil wizards, 1 for each color trying to take over their plane. Okay, that could be cool. Would you like more Eldrazi sets? I mean, for me, like, Eldrazi were really cool the first time. The second time, yeah, they were okay. And I just don't know. I don't know if I want another Emrakul. Maybe I love new Magic cards, so if they return to Eldrazi again, I'm sure I'll end up enjoying it and playing it. But if I had my choice, I probably wouldn't return to Eldrazi again. That was just a rumor that was posted on Reddit. Some of it does line up with stuff we've seen, like the domain names that have been registered for Dominaria and Kamigawa. So that gives some amount of, some amount of weight to the rumor, but it is 1,000,000% a rumor. So don't take that to be what's happening. I think it's very likely that we have Kamigawa happening and Dominaria happening. After that, who knows? And I mean, I think it's also very clear that we're heading towards something with Phyrexia, with all the like foreshadowing, some of the cards that have been planted. I actually think I'm gonna do an article about I want more ninjas too. That's the main reason that I would like to go back to Kamigawa. Is like ninjutsu is just an amazing mechanic. It's one of my favorite mechanics to play with. So the idea that we could get more ninjutsu cards makes me pretty happy. I really want to do an article. And I'm going to have to take some time to research it. But I really want to do an article about how Wizards puts cards that don't really make sense into sets as plans for the future. Like, I am fully convinced. If you go to... let's see. How do we do this? Windswept Teeth. Crack Windswept Teeth. Get a... boy... Probably gotta get a duel. Get a breeding pool, untapped. Ether Vial. Go. But if you go to, like, Adventures in the Forgotten Realms, like, I am fully convinced that Hobgoblin Bandit Lord, it doesn't make any sense in the context of the set. Like, there's not a heavy goblin theme, there's a light goblin theme. Goblins aren't a thing in Standard, they don't really need more support in Historic or Modern. So, this is a card that I think as a plant for the future. I think when we get to, let's say we actually do have Dominaria United next spring, likely that goblins are a supported tribe in that set. And then all of a sudden, we're going to look back and be like, oh, Hobgoblin Bandit Lord, that makes perfect sense now. Wizards is getting the Lord out there for when goblins became a thing like 6 months later. So I think we could actually learn quite a bit, because we see those themes happen a lot. I've noticed a lot recently where we'll see like a theme in Commander Legends, and then it shows up in Keldheim. Or we see things like that. So I actually think that we could probably glean a decent amount of information, or at least speculate on it from some of those cards. Conspiracy theorist, I mean, maybe a plant for going back to Innistrad. Maybe we've had Madness be a mechanic associated with vampires. Maybe we go back to the vampire set. Ugh, are we doing this now? Yeah, I guess. Maybe when we go back to the vampire set, we're gonna have Madness, and that's suddenly gonna be like a key card. M21 Rogue, that's another one. So I think that we could probably... Would we be 100%? No, but I think we can make some pretty educated guesses about what's coming in the future by looking at what's going on in the past, essentially. That's like Vesperlark. Vesperlark offers some nice long-term value. I really want more good human tribal cards in New Innistrad. I fully expect we get humans. Like, that's one of the things that the Innistrad does. We'll get zombies, we'll get vampires, we'll get werewolves. Very likely we also get humans. Well, take up the vial. Ziggurat. Go. Gonna try to be patient and vial stuff in, because we know our opponent has a million counters. Opponent. Sorry, Thought Thief. Sure. Well, let's... Eladrabi's call. For what? Let's take Skyclave. Be able to answer stuff. Flashback is a great mechanic. Having multicolored flashback cards are going to be really sweet. Are you more hyped for Werewolf Vampire or Werewolf Innistrad or Vampire Werewolf Vampire? Werewolf Innistrad or Vampire Innistrad? Opponent gets it, hits us. I say things how I want, Denix. Opponent mills us, sure. Hits us for 1. Well, Violin. Coatl. Draw a card. Untap. Take up the Vial. I think we're in decent shape. Birds of Paradise. Vial on 3 is going to be sweet. Vial on 3 gives us tons of possibilities. Yeah. Pass the turn, leave of a favorite. I'm very convinced that we would see Kamigawa set during current standard because of Azusa and Shrines. Ooh. Yeah, those are both Kamigawa. You're right. Those are both Kamigawa cards. Yeah, that's one that didn't end up happening. Opponent attacks. Well, let's Skyclave. Kind of okay with getting milled, especially with this Vesperlark in hand. But not okay with dying. And 6 is a lot. Azusa for landfall makes sense. And then I guess Shrines are kind of self-contained. And I don't know. Even though they're from Kamigawa, they're not like super... I guess the flavor of the originals was pretty Kamigawa-y. I wonder what a steampunk 1,000 year in the future Kamigawa would be like. Opponent, Fatal Push. Okay. I guess we let it go. Opponent gets a 2/2. Passes. Vials staying the same. Ooh, Soul Herder. Alright, let's Violin. Violin, Soul Herder. Pass the turn. Go attacking. Drown in the lock. Okay, so we will Ephemerate Soul Herder. Fizzle the Drown in the lock. Okay. Oh, this is where things become really sweet. Opponent takes 1. Oh, this is so good. We get to play a Vesperlark. Not evoke it. Opponent step down. End step. Oh, the value trade is running. Soul Herder, blink Vesperlark. Vesperlark leaves the battlefield. Gets back a Ice Fang Coatl. Grows a Soul Herder. Draws a card. Turns on Death Touch. And we're grinding rogues right out of this game. Oh, we didn't turn on Death Touch yet. That's fine. That's fine. Your decks never seem to get boring. That's why I support your stream for 50 months. Well, Autumn Shake, I appreciate that. I like playing fun decks, and I try. Oh, I guess that's okay. We got Vesperlark. I try to play fun decks. I'm glad that it works. I've never been one to really enjoy like playing the same tier deck over and over and over again. That just doesn't work. Oh, tomorrow Legacy action on the YouTube. Wait, let me guess. Let me guess what? What's the difference between steampunk and cyberpunk? You miss Omnath Standard? That's the first time I've ever heard that. Steampunk is nuts and bolts and steam engines. Cyberpunk is electronic circuits. So how steampunk was Kaladesh? Would Kaladesh be considered steampunk, or at least like close? A block with Vesperlark. Vesperlark dies. Get back Recruiter. The value train just keeps running. Recruiter grabs a... You know what? Let's finish it. Let's finish it. I think Mega is shutting down all their mana. Should be reasonably effective. Ephemerate. You know, let's blink a Recruiter. Recruiter's sweet and kind of going off in the moment. Grow this Soul Herder. Do some recruiting. We will recruit up a... You know what? Toski. Squirrel time. No ticking up. Untap. Flooded Strand. Crack Flooded Strand. Grab a Island. Squirrel. Toski time. And draw a few more cards. And I guess we Birds of Paradise. Go to combat. Hit you a bit. And if our opponent taps out to do anything, we just put the Magus into play, and that's our opponent's last spell. All right, well, yeah. Put an end to our opponent's mana. Somehow we've done a better job of locking our opponent out of the game with this than the Tron deck. Kaladesh is very close to Steampunk. Okay. So is that what you... So you would imagine... Would you imagine Kamigawa Neon Dynasty to be more cyberpunk or steampunk? Wild Wild West is the best steampunk reference for most people. It was a great movie to capture the essence of the genre. Oh boy, it's been a long time since... Okay, and our opponent scoops it up. Tried to rogue us unsuccessfully. The deck has just so many sweet little synergies. I like the synergies of this deck. Cyberpunk? Okay. So we've never really had a cyberpunk Magic set. This will be something newish. How do you think Magic will do with going to new genres, I guess, like that? So we got like cyberpunk. We've heard Mark Rosewater asking questions about space sets and Old West sets. It's gonna be interesting. This has got to be one of the most interesting times in the entire like 27-year history of Magic. Like, I don't know if we've ever had a time where so much new stuff was going on. Whether or not all this stuff ends up to be, you know, positives or negatives, that we're gonna have to wait and see. That we do not know the answer to yet. But I don't think there's ever been a time where we had so much innovation. Cyberpunk doesn't feel MTG. Would love an Old West MTG set. What do you think about the gun issue? Or do you think that's going to go away because we have Warhammer and, you know, other crossovers coming to the game? Do you think that the no gun rule is just going to not be a thing anymore? I don't want guns, to be honest, but like, how do you do like an Old West set without guns? It seems like that would be tough. To me, guns would be one of the first things I would associate with like the Old West. Opponent. Magic Magic just doesn't do guns, basically. I mean, I guess there have been some like super fantasy versions of guns or super like old versions of guns, but when I think outer space, I'm thinking of like spaceships and lasers shooting at things. And I think of the Old West, I think of, 6-shooters or whatever. So it seems like we're going to have to see more, at least more guns, if that is the direction that we're heading. Like, how do you do those sets without having more modern guns than we've ever had in Magic before? Yeah, it's been that way for a long time, actually. That gunpowder weapons just aren't really a thing they do in Magic. I'm not super familiar with Warhammer. Like, isn't Warhammer pretty soldiery, like space wars and stuff? Alaborn Zealot is an MTG card with a gun. Seal of removal, interesting. Yeah, although I will say Portal is not super precedenty. Like, it is technically a Magic card with a gun. Portal is kind of its own weird thing. So, I mean, I'm sure you can point to other. There's also like Rocket Launcher is a super old card that, I mean, is that a gun? I guess kind of. It doesn't look like a real weapon, but I would imagine like Rocket Launcher's worth almost $2. Interesting. Boy, old cards are just all expensive now. Huh. But I feel like you'd have to have, like, kind of real guns, sort of. Dire Fleet Captain. Let's see, Dire Fleet Captain. Does it? I don't know. Maybe is there a gun in there somewhere? I mean, if there's a gun, it's not a very obvious one. Opponent gets in with a Goif. Yeah, we'll take it. If we block here, they bounce this, kill this. Ugh, these Ziggurats are going to make Panharmonicon tricky. I guess the issue would be modern-looking guns and rifles. Yeah, I mean, basically that's how it's been so far. Like, old-timey stuff has been, like, kind of okay, but haven't really done modern-looking weapons. At least that maybe I'm missing something, but at least that I can think of. Well, all right. Let's Actually, let's just evoke. Let's evoke Vesperlark. Get back Soul Herder. Birds of Paradise. Arid Mesa. Pass the turn. Blink the Wall of Omens. Draw a card. Hey, what's up, Great Destroyer? How are you tonight? Opponent gonna bounce the wall. Okay. Sure. Opponent really doesn't want us to get that blink value, apparently. What would guns do in terms of game mechanics? I mean, like, could you do an Old West set without guns? Maybe Old West guns are, like, old-timey enough that it wouldn't be an issue. Opponent gets in for a billion. Sure. Well, save us Panharmonicon. Our one of, fun of, old bordered Panharmonicon. Can it come? Oh, no. They hit a bolt. Get a Triome. Untap. Windswept Heath. Crack Windswept Heath. Down to 8. Snow-covered plains. We could be dying. Panharmonicon. Yes. Yes, please. Resolves. Wall of Omens. Opponent. Alright, kills Soul Herder. We get to draw 2. Oh! Okay. Can we remain alive past the turn? Opponent on tabs. This Tarmogoyf is so big. Draws another land. Cracks the land. Goes to combat. Well, we got to block. Block the Goyf. Opponent passes. Well, play the land. Deputy. Get rid of the Goyf. Oh, Panharmonicon. Panharmonicon. Opponent has a counter spell. That's disappointing. Pass the turn. Petty Thief. Well, okay. Iceman Quaddle. Draw 2. Pick up the birds. Opponent. 2 cards in hand. Untaps. This is so close. The Panharmonicon is going off, though. It is keeping us alive. Opponent. Abundant Harvest. Desperately Digging. Finds an Abundant Harvest. Not very good. And Expressive Iteration. That's much better. Oh, we're so close to stabilizing and winning this game. With Panharmonicon of all things. I don't know about that. Literal suits of armor worn for flintlocks. They existed for the same time. Opponent. Well, Ephemerate. Draw a couple of cards. Oh! Oh, I really don't want to block. I want this card draw, but we might have to block. Yeah, I think we gotta. Alright, we lose our card draw. Untap. Nothing to Ephemerate. Kill the Goyf. Birds of Paradise. Birds of Paradise. Giver of Runes. Windswept Heath. Yo. Oh, come on. Something to trigger Panharmonicon. Yeah, I mean, if we take the Tarmogoyf hit, we're in single bolt range. Single bolt rage. So, yeah, we just die to basically anything at that point. More expressive iterations. And these decks are really good at drawing a ton of cards. Magic is such a great game system. Why should it be limited to one world? It's universal. I mean, I don't. I don't think that Magic has to be limited to just one world opponent. Although it's just a big. I think. I wonder. Oh, that's a big one. What about could there be different games within the Magic umbrella? Like, I guess that's the question. Like, how much does the traditional fantasy flavor of Magic matter? I guess. Like, is that something that matters, or does it just not matter at all? Like, yeah, I don't know. Oh, that's not the best. Not the best time to draw. Not the best time to draw a Ether Vial. I don't get a Yarion. Play a Yarion. Double trigger, but nothing to do with it. Blink the birds. Pass the turn. Get back the birds. I mean, we've seen Panharmonicon be good this game. Do you give Ragavan a gun? I mean, personally, I mean, there's personally it doesn't bother me. It's just kind of a change, I guess. It's going to be interesting to see where it all shakes out. And I mean, the other argument is, if we're already doing things like Universes Beyond, then maybe just going crazy with Magic sets in a way that we haven't seen before. Like, maybe that's worth it. Like, maybe we should just be going all out. Opponent gets to draw a card. Skyclave. Well, we will Skyclave. Get rid of the Arcanist. I mean, I guess if they kill both. Alright. Pro Blue. We gotta try to win this game. Pro Blue. Yarion. Hitcha. If they can kill both of our birds, then I guess they get us. Opponent goes to 2. Opponent untaps. Come on. Hold. Hold, birds. Hold. Opponent. With a big ol' Murktide. I mean, uh-oh. That's a tutor. We should get to see the... Does this kill us? We should be getting the information about the first Universes Beyond in, like, a week or two. Like, super soon. I think the 24th, when we get that announcement day, I assume that is going to tell us about the first Universes Beyond. Opponent passes. Well, do they have a counter for the prismatic ending? End you? Oh! Okay. Panharmonicon taking down one of the top decks in the entire format. Magic is a game of two wizards summoning powerful spells and monsters, fighting for them and conquering the other. It's true. If they ever go all out and I play Modern, my opponent casts a Rick Sanchez, that I'm just quitting. I mean, what if it was your commander opponent that cast the Rick Sanchez? Because I'm pretty sure that's what's happening. Like, that has basically been confirmed. I mean, not Rick Sanchez in specific, but it would not be the least bit surprising to see us get to the Rick Sanchez part of the game. So, yeah. I mean, at this point, from what we know, those cards will not be legal in Modern or Standard. That's what we've heard so far. But they will definitely be legal in Commander. I mean, I feel like there's certainly a point where it kind of becomes a parody of itself. I mean, we kind of like even before they announced Universes Beyond. If you're equipping a can of Mountain Dew or a bag of Doritos or something, like then at that point the game has basically become a parody of itself, and it would just be that I think would be a negative, and my guess is that most people would agree that would be a negative. On the other hand, if you do a Warhammer Commander deck or do a Lord of the Rings whatever supplemental product, is that a negative for the game? Personally, I don't really. I can see the like, where is this leading argument, and if it's leading to the bag of Doritos or like the equipping a can of Mountain Dew, that is a scary thought, because I think that would be a negative for the game overall. But as far as like by itself, are those things a problem? I don't know. They're not something that interests me personally, but people seem to get very excited about the D&D set. Like, people were hyped about Forgotten Realms. There were people who are in the D&D community that were paying attention to Magic, and I think that's a good thing. Like, I think that's a positive. So hopefully it would be a good thing overall. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. If it gets to like product placement, Pepsi gives Wizards, so much money to make their product into a playable Magic card or something, then like puke. That is something that is not interesting to me at all. I mean, it's hard for me to consider Wizards especially trustworthy at this point. There's just been so many things where they have not been trustworthy, where eventually if you do untrustworthy things, people are going to stop trusting you, and that's not really even the people's fault. That's kind of your fault for being untrustworthy. Like, if you are untrustworthy and people view you as untrustworthy, they're viewing you properly, right? Like, it's not like they're giving you a bum rap and stereotyping you in a way they shouldn't. Like, if you were actually acting untrustworthy, then maybe it's fair that you're considered that. So I think that's why it always makes me nervous with Wizards, is if there's anything we've seen over the last few years, it's all about the money. It's all about the money. And that's the part that makes me nervous. It's not that they're doing Lord of the Rings crossovers. I'm fine with that. Like, they need to not be doing these as exclusive things. I still have an issue with the like, oh, it's not really exclusive because we're releasing a secret lair drop and then putting it on the list. That is bunk. That's not actually real. That's like not increasing supply. That doesn't solve the problem. So I have issues with how they're releasing it, but I don't have an issue with them releasing it. Like, I'm fine with them releasing those products, and I think some of them will actually be interesting and exciting. But the constant just like desire for more money and more products and more expensive products. Like, the article I have coming out this weekend is about how Modern is at its single most expensive point I believe its entire history. It's at its single most expensive point since I've been tracking it. We have a new donation, criminally uncool $10 donation. Thank you so much. I feel like I watch you enough of your content that I should probably donate something. Well, it is very much appreciated. So thank you so much, criminally uncool. So my article this weekend that I've been working on is about how Modern is at its literal most expensive point in its history. Like, it costs more to buy a tier Modern deck today than ever before. And the weird thing about this is it's not reprints. When we've talked about the cost of Modern in the past, what it almost always comes back to is Wizards needs to reprint cards more. Wizards need to reprint cards more. And that has been true most of the time in the past, but this time it's different. What is making Modern so expensive is new cards on a rampage. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super cheer for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. What's making the format so expensive is new cards. Modern Horizon cards in specific. That's what's driving up the price of the format. That's what's making decks cost over $1,000 to get a tier deck. And that's on Wizard. That is like intentionally. Wizards is printing. If you look at it, take Ragavan, take Force of Negation. They're being printed at the highest possible rarity, mythic rares, in a set that is being sold for, what, double the price of a normal set? So it's at the least common rarity in the most expensive set. That is the recipe to end up having these cards be incredibly expensive. I think that's part of the goal, honestly. Like, I think that cards like Ragavan, I don't think it's a mistake that it's $80. I think it is intentionally $80 because that's good for Wizards. An $80 Ragavan, that gets you to buy a $200 box of Modern Horizons 2, and then, even better, it doesn't end there, from Wizards' perspective. Then, the next year, they can print it as an old border card in Modern Horizons 3. Then the next year, they can stick it in Triple Masters. Then eventually, 5 years from now, it's going to Tarmogoyf, start at, $200, and after 5 years of reprinting every year, ends up being a, more palatable but still expensive $30. I think that's the goal. Like, I think the goal is to make expensive cards. And as much as I love Modern Horizons, like, seriously, they are my favorite sets. And this is not a criticism of, Modern Horizons, period. It's not, I don't want Modern Horizons or something like that, because, like I said, I absolutely love Modern Horizons. It is seriously my straight up, like, one of my favorite products that Wizards does, like, bar none. But I do think they could do it in a more player friendly way, in a way where it wouldn't be absurdly expensive, and just like you could print the same cards, just print Ragavan at rare, print Force of Negation at rare, where they should be arguably anyway. So yeah. I mean, yeah, Goyf is down to $30. So reprints do work. We say it with the fetch lands too. Like, the enemy fetch lands dropped in price a ton from being reprinted. They're still, $20 to $40 depending on the specific card, but they dropped a ton. So reprints do work, but it's also going to take time. Like, they can reprint Ragavan in a master set, in a future Modern Horizon set for like the next several years, and it's going to take all of that time for it to get down to a more reasonable price. It is not going to happen quickly. I'm playing a land. Vesper Lark. Pass the turd. Should mythics be reserved for big, splashy, expensive spells, walkers, or for powerful cards to not mess with the draft format? I think the draft argument is a little silly. In some cases. I think it's overused. That opponent Tarmogoyf. I think it's overused that because the impact isn't that big. Like, some of the cards that are at Mythic, like the Evoke Elementals. The Evoke Elementals, I don't think would be a big issue in Limited. Like, in Limited, 2 for 1ing yourself to put a spell on top of your opponent's deck, or 2 for 1ing yourself to Swords to Plowshares, that's kind of like a pretty big negative. So I feel like while there are cases where Limited is a concern, I think that it's also tends to be a little bit blown out of proportion, and Limited is used as an excuse for putting cards that Wizards wants to be expensive at Mythic rather than at Rare. Yeah, I mean, that was the original goal of Mythics. Like, in Wizards' words. Like, in Wizards' words, the original goal of Mythics is that they would would not be just to list like the strongest cards in the set. Like that was not the goal. The goal was them to be like big flashy effects rather than just like the strongest cards in the set. So people buy cards obviously. People buying obviously less individual cards because way more cards come out, so prices go up. Solitude, eh? They mill a Scalding Tarn. Well, I guess we pass. We're at a kind of a strange stalemate here in this game. Maybe. Do you think it's... So you think that part of the price is people are buying less... There's more cards and people buying less of each card because it's spread out more? But we don't really see that happening with like Standard. Standard is like as cheap as it's ever been. And it's really narrowly focused on like higher rarity cards from primarily like, well, opponent keeps chaining together those counter spells, eh? It's pretty narrowly focused on like expensive cards from Modern Horizons and to a lesser extent some other mythics from Standard sets. But those seem to be most of the issue. Ooh, we gotta go for it. We gotta go for it. If we can win this game with Panharmonicon, that's a double win. That's a double win. We're gonna take the risk. Maybe we get punished. Maybe we will lose because of this. But I mean, how do you pass up the best card in Magic? Opponent, Dragon's Rage Channeler, mills, draws. If we get to untap, we got the resto. Turns on Dragon's Rage Channeler. Opponent, pump fakes. Goes to combat, attacks. Attacks. And we will block here. Pro green. Take 3. Vesperlark dies. Gets back Coatl. Draws us 2. Panharmonicon. Okay. Alright. Opponent. Big ol' Murktide. Big ol' Murktide. 1 card in hand. Opponent passes. Ooh, Eladurami's Call. How do we do this without dying? Alright, let's Eladurami's Call. Get what? Oh, I kind of wish we had a bounce effect. Oh my god, Deputy. Deputy is kind of insane if it resolves. Tap. Deputy. Oh! Tarmogoyf. Murktide. Panharmonicon! Oh, yes! And we have the Giver of Runes for protection. Oh, that's so good. Endurance. Hitcha. Down to 12. Pass the turn. Oh, Panharmonicon is doing it. Panharmonicon's doing it. Opponent, Adepts. Also keep in mind that inflation has been happening crazy after Fed money printer went burr. All the stimmy checks went out. MTG prices reflecting higher prices because the dollar is worth less. I don't think that too much inflation has really impacted Magic at this point. I'll get a Triome. Ether Vial. I'll go to combat. Attack. Opponent takes it. Recruiter? Double triggers? Panharmonicon? Yes. Oh my... Wow. Oh my goodness, that was a misclick. A very brutal one. Well, no Panharmonicon. We just want a one card anyway. We're going to be discarding the hand size. We can't have that. Wall of Omens. Draw 2 cards. And play a land. Pass the turn. This is Panharmonicon winning us this game. Like, this is straight up Panharmonicon. This is Panharmonicon value. I don't think we would have won without it. It's been a while, but Panharmonicon is proving its worth. Oh, do you think Recruiter would be too good? I do think the stimulus checks. I think the stimulus checks had an impact on stuff like a while ago, but I don't think it has much of an impact on the price of like Ragavan, for example. But I do think like, I mean, I even saw it on Twitter with people talking about like, oh, I got my stimulus check, I'm gonna get a commander deck or whatever. So I think like a year ago when it was first happening, I think that might have actually been a thing that drove up the prices of especially some like older cards. But I don't think it's actually doing anything with current prices for the most part. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4. How do we close out this game? We just need our opponent to... They're at 6. How do we make them die? Go to combat. Actually, this is easy. 1, 2, 3. Eternal Witness. Panharmonicon. Double trigger. Get back Ephemerate. Get back Prismatic Ending. Uh-oh. Opponent. Unholy Heat. Oh! Spellstunner's Bright! The fairy value! And that is one of the best decks in the format getting beaten by Panharmonicons. Hey, what's up, Doug? How are you? Yeah, I think the Commander Staple Reserve List card saw a lot of the biggest price. My didgeridoos are going wild. Yeah, that's because Minotaurs actually becoming a thing in Legacy. Also, more Legacy tomorrow for Mucha Brew. All right, one more match. One more match with this deck. Oh, it was sweet to see Panharmonicon doing things. Hey, how are you, Samurai? Good to see you. Well, I think that this proved to be better than Tron, at least. Panharmonicon better than Tron, but we already knew that, honestly. Yeah, Spellstar was good. I dropped investing in new cards for about 4 years. For me, it's only Alpha Beta, Unlimited, Legends, Arabian Night for investing, and I advise you all to do the same. Oh, those cards are so expensive, though, Autumn Shank. I mean, I don't disagree that from a pure collector or value perspective, those are like the best cards, but that's a lot. That's a lot up front for a lot of those cards, especially since the price is already so high. I think everything's better than Tron. What'd you do before Panharmonicon? There was no before Panharmonicon. My life started in what would it be? September 2016 when Kaladesh was printed. Before that there was nothing. Just a black hole of emptiness. I like Manatide more. Spellstar is pretty sweet. The problem is it's blue, and people expect counters from a blue deck. So while it is good and people don't expect Spellstutter Sprite in specific, they still expect to get countered. Manatithe, the joy of Manatithe is people just don't expect a deck without blue mana to counter them. So you really get people good. That's why Manatithe gives me such a ridiculous amount of joy. Alright, we got a Panharmonicon. Nothing to go with it. Well, land. and Ether Vial go. I just wanted to warn so-called investors who invest in newer cards because they will get burned. Oh, well, I think that is good advice. Now take out the vial. Ooh. Ooh, 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 ooh. That we like. That we like against the Rakdos deck. Sanctifier and Vec. That is a good one. No monkey beats. Pass the turn. Although I will say, if you're looking for cards to pick up now, I'm definitely interested in stuff that is attached to the themes of the future Innistrad sets. Humans, zombies, werewolves, all that kind of stuff. All right, we're gonna keep the Panorama. Well, actually, no, we're so far away. We're gonna discard the Panharmonicon. This doesn't even make mana for Panharmonicon, so I don't think we can keep it. Opponent. Passing. Well, Violin, Giver of Runes. Untap. So yeah, that's something to keep in mind. We've just seen it so many times where a new set comes out with themes being supported, and the cards from that from old cards that are attached to those themes get really crazy. So that's what I would be looking at. Not even as like I'm going to make a bunch of money, but more as like I'm going to save myself money. So if you're thinking you're going to build werewolves or vampires or humans in Commander, in Modern, zombies, I would be looking at picking up the pre-existing pieces now because the prices just always go up. Why are they releasing two sets so close to each other? The answer is we don't really know. We'll find out more. We'll find out more on the 24th, I assume. I think there's a couple of possibilities. What was the reason they didn't do a werewolf commander deck? That seems like a very weird situation. Invest in paper fetch lands. Traditionally, Thrift and Mitch, fetch lands go back up unless Magic becomes way less popular. Ew. Unless Magic itself becomes way less popular. That's a blowout. Then I think that fetch lands going up in price is a pretty good bet. The ones that were just reprinted, like the Zendikar ones in Modern Horizons 2, I think there's a pretty good chance that those will end up being much more expensive again. Plus, they're cards you're going to want in your collection to play with. So why are they releasing two sets so close to each other? My guess is there's got to be another set coming that we don't know about in the winter that'll be announced. Maybe it's Universes Beyond. Maybe it's a normal set. We really don't know. But my guess is something's got to fill the gap. That gap. Another less magic-y reason could be getting two sets in this year increases the bottom line for the year. So if something Hasbro's CEO cares about is being able to say like, hey, we made, how many billions of dollars in this year in specific, then that's a way to get it done. Jeez. Wow. Opponent is jutting us out. Restoration Angel. Kind of expecting a fatal push. Oh no. Wow. No. All right. Well, that was a bummer. Yeah, Knight of Autumn might be a better sideboard card than a main deck card. Run it back. They did mention that they would not be a set of 5 standard sets when the first announced Innistrad Werewolves. Do you think they go back on this? Oh, well, no. I think that... So I think that they're still going to stick to the same amount of sets in Standard. So I think that Innistrad is replacing the winter set as far as Standard is concerned. But I would be very surprised if there was not a set replacing it of some kind. Maybe it's a master set. We haven't had a master set this year. Maybe it's a master set. Maybe it's Commander Legends 2. Maybe it's Universes Beyond Lord of the Rings. We really don't know. But I would be very surprised if there's just a gap in the Magic release calendar in the winter when the winter set was supposed to be coming out. So no, I don't think they're going to go back on their thing about sticking to having 4 standard sets a year. I think that'll be the same, but I would be surprised if there wasn't some sort of product there. A remastered set, a master set, something. All right, opponent got the bolt. And passes. Well, land, go. I mean, we actually know there's a Lord of the Realms Universes Beyond set coming. We don't... I believe that it's confirmed that it's a full set, actually. I think that wasn't that the initial announcement was that... Wait, did you really buy 2,000 flumps? I can't laugh too hard because I bought a bunch of Haven of the Spirit Dragons back in the day, but that is an ambitious bit of speculation. Flump. I believe that I thought that they said Lord of the Rings is a full set and Warhammer is commander decks. All right, and those are the two first Universes Beyond sets. We don't know when it'll release. I'm guessing next year. They said starting next year. So we don't know the exact release date. But yeah, if you're a Lord of the Rings fan, Lord of the Rings officially going to be coming to Magic. And see, that's why I'm okay with these sets. Even though a lot of like longtime Magic players have been against them, like seeing Tableman be excited and like that's the important thing. And what really sold me, I've talked a few times about like teaching my little nephew Magic. Like that's just stuff that he would be really excited about. And that makes me think that it's worth it. Even if for someone who's played Magic for a long time, it kind of is weird to have other games in it or whatever. Like, if, other people are excited for it and it's making them excited to keep playing Magic, then I think that's a win. And I think that we just got to come like longtime Magic players and the more enfranchised crowd who their feelings are valid. And I don't think it's wrong for people to feel like, wow, Magic's been around a long time. It's always focused on this one thing. Why is it doing this different thing? But I think if you look at the positives, I think that they do outweigh the negatives. And try to be excited about other people even if you're not excited about it personally, be excited that other people are excited for it. Like that's kind of how the D&D set was for me. Like with Adventures in the Forgotten Realms, I don't really know D&D. I'm not like against D&D or anything. That's not something I've done a ton of. So what made me most hyped for the D&D set was seeing Tomer, seeing Dan Wildfire in the chat, seeing some people on like social media who just absolutely loved it and we're getting pyroed. We're so excited to see their favorite characters coming to Magic, and that made me excited. Seeing other people being excited made me excited about it, even though it wasn't like in my wheelhouse as far as something I'd really normally care about much. Well, let's Solitude, and I hope that's how the rest of. Well, I guess technically the D&D set wasn't Universes Beyond, but I hope that's how Universes Beyond is too. Where even if you personally don't care about the product that it's crossing over with, maybe other people caring about it, some of that excitement will rub off and make it exciting. maybe I'm odd, but I really like the way Magic is going. I mean, I think there's positives and negatives. I think negatives are, I would say, negatives. I think the most obvious negatives are things are getting pretty expensive. So that is a concern. There's a lot of products, which makes me a little worried that eventually people will just be overloaded and start to tune them out. Like traditionally, when there's a few sets a year, you can care about everything, and I think it's weird to like shift into a mode where you don't care about some products and you just ignore them because they're not something that is for you. As much as I hate that like marketing slogan, and then I think the biggest thing is, and then I think the even bigger thing is just the problems with actual like constructed formats, like the poor designs, the endless bannings. Hopefully, we are through that for the time being, but like 2019 and 2020 were some of the roughest, worst years in Magic's history, honestly, as far as that kind of stuff. So I mean, but then there's a lot of innovative designs. I've liked a lot of mechanics. I'm okay with the universes beyond thing, even if it's not something that like super excites me personally. So there's a lot of yeah. Organized play is another. Well, I guess we got to wait and see. Right now, I would list that as a negative. Although we'll see what they end up announcing when everything's said and done. Maybe it won't be a negative once we get, whatever future announcement we get. About it passes. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4. Toski, squirrel time. Go to combat. Attack you. Opponent. Endurance might actually be pretty good here. Takes it. We get to draw. Well, Ephemerit's not bad. Pass it. This has been a pretty interesting game, actually. Started off looking like our opponent was going to run us over with Seasoned Pyromancers, but now it's actually kind of feeling close. I wish there was a little more space. That is something that I've experienced, too. I wish there was a little more space for breathing. Feels like Ikoria was 4 years ago, and it came out during the lockdown. We can't save our sets. We're just like Bart chewing the gum for 5 seconds and spinning on the floor and getting to the next one. That's something that I've experienced as well. That was actually one of the biggest reasons why I was, oh my goodness, all the Seasoned Pyromancers in the world. That was one of the biggest reasons I was pretty disappointed with Jumpstart being pushed back, is we actually had like a couple of weeks, the couple of weeks that I got pushed back for actually, where we didn't have any spoilers. We didn't think there were any like set announcements or anything. So we thought we were just like good to sure. So we thought we were just good to brew and do new things, and then I got delayed, and now there's not going to be like any time. So I have experienced that, and I think that's how, as players, I think we're going to have to like learn to not care about everything. As weird as that is to say, but I think that's what it comes down to. I think you got to learn to not care, and you're just going to take some sets off. Maybe it's an arena only set, maybe it's a commander precon, but like whatever it is, I think there are going to be times that you're just going to have to say to yourself, this set's not for me, and just skip it, because there's just so many sets these days that it's not really possible to keep up with them all. It's just, you're not doing anything wrong. It's just, it's not humanly possible to keep up with a set every other week or whatever. That's something that I miss too, is when there were like, and this isn't like a complaint or like a bad thing because I like new Magic cards too, but I remember like a few years ago when we had much less products, spoiler season was kind of a celebration. Like people would kind of in some way come together a little bit, and the community would kind of unite around new Magic cards. Like that was something that would bring the community together. And now because there's so many spoiler season, and if it's not spoiler season, there's secret lair drops, and there's commander precons, and there's this, and there's always new cards coming out. And even if there's none of those things, there's like judge promos or whatever. There's always something new that it doesn't feel like that usually anymore. Like it doesn't normally feel like there's the community coming together to celebrate the new set and enjoy the new cards, just because there's so much now. I gave up to have every set in like 2002. Whew. Yeah, I mean, in those days there were only like 4 sets, so they didn't even really do supplemental products back then for the most part. Opponent doing the Liliana Renin 6 shenanigans, plays a LAN, goes to combat. Passes. Opponent drawing so many seasoned Pyromancers is keeping them in this game, and then the Planeswalkers are going to be an issue if we don't draw anything. About it. Yeah, we decided to switch in and play a few games with this Recruiter deck. The Tron deck, we did get him once. We did get him once with it, but overall, it was not. We couldn't have success with it. I'm sure some people could, but not us. Well, Quaddle's not the worst. Colligan's command. Well, we will run out Ice Fang Quaddle. Draw a card. Lose our Panharmonicon. Go attacking. Opponent. Blocks. Yeah, we're about to just get locked into these Planeswalkers. Well, Toski helps. Skyclave Apparition. Get rid of Renin 6. That's a good draw. Pass the turn. Maybe Toski will keep us in it. Maybe it'll keep us in it. About it. Can you name all the guilds of Ravnica? What are the 10 realms? Oh, I can name all the guilds of Ravnica. What are the 10 realms of Keldheim? I will say that's like... Well, actually, I was going to say it's not a great comparison because the guilds are like plastered all over cards, but maybe they are in Strixhaven too. Because like Starnheim has got to be one of them. That's the Orzhov one, right? Starnheim Unleashed. Opponent spins into a Ragavan and a Bloodbraid Elf. And goes to combat. Attacks. Ooh, well, we're gonna take it. We might be dying. Down to 6. Can anyone rattle off the top of the head the 5 schools of Strixhaven? Prismari, Witherbloom, Lorehold, Quandrix, and Prismari. No, I started with Prismari. What am I missing? Orzhov is Strixhaven. Oh. Orzhov is Strixhaven. Prismari is it? Oh, Witherbloom. Go Gary. So sort of. Ish. Kind of. Well, go to combat, go attacking. If we don't draw something here, we're going to be dead. Oh, that Bloodbraid. Our opponent, I mean, they're playing Jund, and Jund is like 2-for-1 tribal. But our opponent did just hit multiple 2-for-1s off the top. Oh, and we hit multiple lands. And the Magic Gods do not want us to beat Jund. Well, kind of a disappointing end to the stream. But the Recruiter deck's actually super fun. I don't know how good it is. We got to see Panharmonicon go off, or one of Panharmonicon, and that's one of the things that makes the deck sweet is you can just kind of toss in one of anything, as long as it works with the Recruiter theme, and it's going to be good sometimes. And we saw Panharmonicon win us games in this deck, which was super sweet. As far as Tron, meh. It was cool to possess Portal, but maybe I just don't understand this deck. I'm going to have to try to find out the person that plays this deck and watch them play it, because they've gotten, like, the one person has gotten multiple 5-0s with it. I'm going to have to figure out if they stream or anything and see, maybe they're, like, mulliganing super aggressively for Tron, even though it's counterintuitive. I don't know. I don't know what we're doing wrong, but we did get someone good with a possessed Portal once, which was super sweet, but why not drop the black Triome in play Yarok instead? I could play Yarok. I mean, that's the upside of the deck is you can kind of throw in whatever. So I could see playing a single Yarok. It would be easy enough to go full on 5 colors. We were going to Ancient Ziggurat. We already got Fetch Land. So yeah, I could see Yarok being pretty good. Although it has 3 power, so it's not recruitable, but still. Anyway, I believe on that note, that brings us to the end of our stream for tonight. But I feel like Seth drank a bottle of NyQuil. Wait, NyQuil? Wait, what did I do? Did I say something wrong? Anyway, I think that brings us to the end of our stream for tonight. So we'll be back, next stream is on Monday. So we'll be back on Monday with our next stream. In the meantime, you can always check out the replay YouTube to find any of the old streams. Normal YouTube, tons of stuff coming up on there. Legacy action tomorrow. We just had a sweet standard Vorpal sort of gets on, so keep it out for all that. One more reminder that our sponsor tonight is Card Kingdom. And if you need some magical cards, you can get them from over at cardkingdom.com. Even get an MTG Goldfish sticker. Just let them know you want one in your order notes, and they will hook you up. They are pretty spectacular like that. So thank you to Card Kingdom for supporting the show. Most importantly, thank you to all of you. Thanks for hanging out for some modern action tonight. Being Dirty Tron players, messing around with Panharmonicon. Y'all are amazing and awesome, and seriously, I appreciate y'all so much. So I'll see you Monday for some more fun. Until then, have an amazing night. Have a great weekend. I love y'all, and yeah, see you on Monday.